vocal catalyst, rattling, never hazardous. Subdued by all my memories, but never been a pacifist. So quick to put up the fist, it's hard to resist, but I just might lose control. So shoot, and I never do miss. I gotta take risk if I wanna have it all. So let go of the poison, the venom. I'm sending. The voices are spinning with the visions already. Got the pictures of my prophecy, develop my philosophy. Woke up in the morning, told the world to get back off of me. Yeah, and still the nightmares creeping up at night. I'm a fragment in the mirror, seeing black and white. Like who is me and who is gonna take me over? My soul is my soul in the eyes of the beholder. Yeah, and now there's darkness in the chaos. Try to see the light, hope the positives will pay off. Ain't no time for stressing when the time is of this essence. Take these two fists and swing them back into your direction. Woo! Cause that's the way I got it. And don't the sound of doom always sound so melodic. Looking to the future, know the end is coming near. Even though I'm standing tall in the face of all this fear. Clear vision, serving life like a sentence. Gotta stay strong, that's the reason I'm so vicious. A barking dog, take it all, never fall. You ringing for the champ, and I'm the one who get the call. So let me tell you a little something about this life. You can commit to the game and you can commit to fight. But the thing is that with every passing of the night, nobody actually makes it out of this world alive. So what you gotta do is put your powers to the test. Time is passing, so you better swing your time the best. So who you gonna be when the reaper come knocking? Actions speak louder than words, so stop talking. Yeah, so watch me break out of this cage. I fight now, I won't change. Yeah, and it's the passing of the days. So get back and just get up out my way. Yeah, so watch me break out of this cage. I fight now, I won't change. Yeah, and it's the passing of the days. So get back and just get up out my way. Woo!
Warning: the following presentation is intended for mature audiences. It contains adult language and strong language. Viewer discretion, listener discretion is advised. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Georgia Street Fighter 5 Scene Community Podcast Discussion Group. I'm your moderator for this event this evening, ShadowAce, and of course, I want to always first thank SirRetro for agreeing to host this discussion with me. The reason I have assembled you all here this evening is to get your views and opinions on the Street Fighter Five and Street Fighter Five community in general, and just drop some knowledge about some FGC meta in regards to that. The game has been out for about 7 years by now, and that's quite a long time before next installment drops, which is Street Fighter Six. We know that it is dropping 2023. Could be pushed back, but as far as everyone's attitude and demeanor towards the game now, I think they want this game to come out in January. They want it now. So each of you may hold different views and opinions towards the game and the community in general. So this is just an opportunity to express yourself in a constructive manner. We'll first start off by introducing our panel for this evening. I'll go first. My name is ShadowAce. I am a player, commentator, podcaster, TO, man of many hats, man. Man of many hats. Been in the FGC for about 10 or so more years. Been playing since Vanilla, Street Fighter 4. Main looked at Vega first, then I looked at El Fuerte, and I just been kind of playing these wild, creative characters ever since then. And yeah, I've been to a lot of different events here in Georgia, so I'm excited to, share my experience and wealth with the scene here. We're gonna have a good time on this discussion for sure, and also want to, you know, give out condolences or any, type of aid as far as good spirits and will towards any FGC members that have been affected by Hurricane Ian. I know I think it was either South Florida or West Florida that had suffered like the most damage from the storm. But if any FGC members are affected out there, prayers going out to you guys for that. But yeah, this is Shadow Ace, and also joining me on the podcast with us today, man that really needs no introduction, but I'm going to introduce him anyway. SirRetro, the man behind the ones and twos on production. How you doing today, sir?
Hey, how's it going, everyone? I'm SirRetro, for those who do not know, and for those who do know, I'm the Middle Georgia FGC um, Mayor of Macon, as they call me, but mainly, of course, tournament organizer of the Reboot Retrocade Gaming and Spag on Nerds for the Middle Georgia area. Basically, been around for about at least 5-6 years, and basically been part of the FGC or Smash community for a little bit longer than that, about 10 years, I would say. Definitely, also like the training players and basic to intermediate and fundamentals about the games. Huge fighting game enthusiast myself. I'm also a producer of this Georgia Street Fighter podcast series. I definitely appreciate ShadowAce for bringing me on board, and definitely looking forward to future adventures as we are now still in the double digits with episode number 12. So thank you guys so much for the support. Definitely shout outs to the people in the chat. Shout outs to the homies outside of the chat. No chat. Those who tune in to listen to later on in our archives. Thank you guys so much for your support, and thank you guys for the guests that we'll have today as well. And thank to all the FGC as a whole for the support and hear about us or at least retweet us or whatever whenever we have this type of content going out. So thank you guys so much.
Yeah, no doubt, man. It's the fans of support that keep us going, and just definitely do appreciate everybody so much. But before we bring in our two special guests, actually one of them is going to be our first time is going to be like a repeat. I think this is our first time when we had a second guest come back. They said, "Run it back. Let me get back onto the podcast again." I said, "Oh, okay. Say less. You got something you want to tell the world? We here for you." Before we bring him in, I think we got a little clip to show the good people at home for those who are listening and watching the stream live.
Oh yeah, just tune into this little thing. Let me sure that the audio set for it. But yeah, give it just a second, and I'm gonna make sure I put it over here too. Do a little switcheroo. I can change the there we go. Yeah, I can change it. All right, y'all. Y'all ready for this? I know the people in the chat can see already, but our guests, especially, y'all ready to see this? Okay. I think all the audio's good. Oh yeah, let me go ahead and mute this right quick. And here, oops. Yep. Here we go. Oh no.
Alright, so we have BigBates versus Painbot.
Okay, BigBates. Winner side action. I think Bates get a bye. Not sure. But I do know this is winners. Okay, so here we go. We got Sakura versus.
We're waiting for our...
See what happens.
Okay. Ooh. Nice block on that. Ooh. Of course, Bates with his expert pokes here.
Okay, they adjusted it. All right. Okay.
Ooh. Misses that grab. Bates punishes him with a grab of his own. Okay.
Okay.
Trying to put that pressure back on him. Ooh, look like he tried to dash under him there.
Nice.
Ooh, no, get yourself back in that corner. I saw you. Ooh, nice counter hit.
Oh.
Doesn't get anything after it. Ultra.
Oh, wait, is that? Okay, never mind.
Are you talking to a ball wrong? They don't miss those.
Yeah, I was about to say, he was like...
All right, so
Damn,
we have
nice.
BigBates versus Painbot.
Okay.
All right. There it is, man. There it is. That clip brought me back, man. That clip brought me back. That's like a 7 or 8 year old clip from back in the heyday when we were all in our younger youth there. We're veterans, we're veterans now with the gray hair coming in, except for Bates for some reason. He don't want to join the gray hair club. But Big Bates, there it is. Yo, Big Bates, man. What's going on? Talk to the good people.
What's up, y'all, man? It's your boy Big Bates, man. Blue collar worker, still hitting these buttons. I think I started competing and coming out to events in 2013. I cut my tooth in for Street Fighter 4 and been competing ever since. And then I just found a love for fighting games and being a part of the community. So ever since then, I've just been active community member, playing games, just hitting buttons, doing events, traveling, whatever. Just anything fighting games, I've always been about it. As of late, I've been working out of town though, so I haven't been able to come to anything locally. But when we still host like DataFGC, we'll still host events and help out with community events around Georgia. So also founding member of DataFGC. I do a lot, man. Dang, I do a lot. But yeah. So I ain't gonna run on too long about that. I've already been on one of these, and I'm glad to be back, man. I appreciate y'all having me back on here, man.
Get the run back, yo. You making the run backs, man. So we appreciate you taking your time out of your Sunday evening to join us for this one. And this is different because we got an extended bonus hour of footage content coming your way. Normally we start these at 6 p.m. Eastern, but we was like, bro, I'm pretty sure this is gonna go over 3 hours. So
I feel special, man. I appreciate that, man.
This is the special here, man. Episode 12, double digits. Let's get to it, man. And you guys saw the other player in that clip too, as well. A man that needs another tyrant that doesn't need any introduction, but we got to introduce him anyway, man. If you don't know who he is, you might be fucking up out there.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm gonna let him tell you about himself. Painbot, how are you doing today, sir?
I think it's reasonable if someone who plays Street Fighter V now doesn't know who the fuck I am, because I played the last time I really truly was a competitor was the first Red Bull that they had in Georgia. I think I got like third. That was the last time I played Street Fighter V, and then after that, I mean, unless you play other games, I guess you'll know. But I mean, a lot of people. It's funny thinking about this, but first and foremost, me and Bates probably are the same when it comes to this. But I consider myself a Street Fighter player, even though I've been absent for like 5 years.
Yeah, man. Street Fighter 5 pimped this out, man. Pimped this out the other games. It was kind of rough from the beginning, so we had to get pimped out the other games just to enjoy ourselves. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, unfortunately, this is the first time I actually was like, well, I guess we just not gonna play Street Fighter for 5 years.
Hey, it's been that long since you.
When was the first Red Bull? I mean, I still entered. I mean, y'all, I still entered, but it wasn't like I was practicing. I think I would play every now and then a new character would come out. And I'd be like, okay, that looks interesting. And I'll try for like a week. And that's it. So, but the thing is, though, I would still enter the tournaments to ruin people's day. Like, I'd be like, let's see if my 1 week Honda could beat everybody. And, sometimes I'd beat a lot of people that are good. And I'm like, all right. And then I'd be like, you know what? I wonder if my 2 week Sagat could beat everybody. I just beat people with Sagat. I'm like, all right, well, that's that, I guess.
The chat right now.
Got a chat going in. We glad y'all with us, man. We definitely gonna have a good time.
Yeah,
man.
you see how he said that? Okay, so Terrence says in the chat, says the man who got third in Street Fighter 5. Dude, I played Honda and like Sagat. I maybe played for 2 weeks, 3 weeks on Honda, maybe. If that's being incredibly generous. And then I know I played Sagat for like 2-3 weeks because that was around the time where I was like, you know what? I'll just play it. I'll learn Sagat. Fuck how shitty Street Fighter 5 is. I'll play Sagat anyway. And then they removed the patch that the community made to make the game functional online, and then never fucking fixed it. And that's what I checked out.
Damn.
That's what I remember Sagat for. I was like, oh yeah, Sagat's pretty cool. Not really, but at least he's Sagat kind of. And then they removed that. It's like, okay, well, this is impossible to play now. Because what am I gonna do? Fucking throw shitty fireballs and die?
Yeah,
I just laughed.
Not in this game.
Well,
Yeah, not in this game. Maybe in ST. But not in fucking
Whoa, Painbot. Are you saying you felt restricted to throw fireballs? Are you saying that your skills that you've been honing for years of throwing fireballs are irrelevant?
Yeah, I mean that's what happened. That's what happens when they make 80% of the V skills beat fireballs, and that's the laziest game development. That's the laziest game development choice I could.
I don't know what you're talking about. Fireballs are boring, man. I just like in gameplay.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, that's
I just want to see everybody burn, man. I want that red bar to pop and everybody burn.
My favorite part about playing Sagat in 5 is that even if you somehow beat the fact that everyone has V skills to beat you, and the bars to beat you, and the V trigger to possibly beat you, because the V triggers also just beat Fireball 90% of the time, that now you also cannot chip them out, which is Sagat's like prime directive in every Street Fighter up until this point. So on top of that, you now have to walk forward with this trash character that doesn't have any plus frames to his name, outside of a perfectly spaced EX fucking knee, which you're really just mixing yourself up because he's just going to do some shit in the V trigger, right? So you're going to have to do this and then open them up somehow. Like, God bless people that like Sagat and for some reason play Street Fighter 5. You could have played any other game with Sagat in it and it'd have been gross. I'm not even joking. You could have played Alpha. You could have played fucking CVS 2. You could have played ST. You could have played Street Fighter 4. They nerfed the shit out of him in 4, but he's still Sagat. But no, you ended up playing Sagat in 5. And now you don't even know what Sagat's supposed to be like. You just think they're stupid, like the guys that made them. But little do you know, there's like 20 years of Sagat in existence that was good, and they fucked him in one game.
Nah, bro. Street Fighter 5 Sagat is the only Sagat, man. I like my meaty Tiger knee setups. I like my no mix up on activation, V trigger block.
I like being negative on my anti-airs. That's amazing. I love landing a real anti-air and getting punished immediately.
It's about character expression. Wait, hold on. I don't like this energy you're giving out because it's almost like you acting like you can't play Sagat the way you would like to play.
You see,
are you saying there's only one way to play Sagat? Is that what you're saying?
There is only one way to play Sagat in 5, and it's just to pray. And hopefully the other guy is just way worse than you. Because that's the only way you're going to win. And it's not like Sagat. Okay, here's the worst part. So, like, obviously, people are like, well, Street Fighter 5 is balanced. Like, that was.
Hold on. Who said Street Fighter 5 is balanced?
I mean, there may be some people out there.
Who said that shit?
There may be some people that truly believe that.
That guy's fucking
but
crazy.
It's not balanced in a way that would make that makes something like let's just say Sagat is in a balanced game, right? And technically he doesn't have any atrocious matchups except for fucking Dhalsim. But outside of that, he doesn't have atrocious matchups. But the problem is that he's also not very good at really anything. So when you look at him, you just looking at Sagat, you're like, you know what? Why the hell don't I just fucking play Guile? There's really nothing this character does that God don't do.
I mean, God can play Sagat, and he has a secondary character. Yeah. Why can't you just play him with a secondary character?
Yeah, why can't you just play not Sagat? Why don't you just play anybody else? Because you know what's fucked up? By the way, for you guys that only know about Street Fighter 5, Bonchan was my fucking hero in 4.
Oh,
that dude was ridiculous. His Sagat was absurd. And by the way, Sagat in the final versions of the game he was playing was not that good. But he still made that shit work like crazy. And he did a bunch of crazy stuff. And there's tons, by the way, I know y'all don't know what I know y'all Street Fighter 5 players don't know what real highlights are, but there's tons of like highlights in 4 of Sagat. Of him playing Sagat and him just clutching it out. I'm talking about like if he made a single mistake and like he had to like really clutch it out in neutral and then like get some shit done, he did it. There's tons of good Bonchan.
I don't know, Painbot. The last time I seen Bonchan, he was getting clapped by IX Valles Hugo. So
that was crazy. But it was also, but the problem is that we saw that and we didn't think, damn, he got lucky. We knew that shit was just like that was that. Like he won with Hugo straight up. Yeah. But Bonchan was so impressive, by the way, in 4 that like he was synonymous with like the top Sagats, period, back then.
Yeah.
And he had a whole bunch of like a crazy like run in the last version of 4. And then he lost to Luffy, and then he really fixed his gameplay versus that Rose, and he adjusted. And then like the next time he was running the Rose, he knew how to fight that shit because he was able to make actual adjustments to his gameplay and be creative. But, like I'm pretty sure, I don't know what he's up to these days. I'm assuming he doesn't play Sagat or he lost all his hair. Something. Either one or the other. But I'm assuming that he either came to the conclusion that it's not worth playing Sagat, or he still plays Sagat just because he says, "Fuck it, I'm not gonna win anyway, so I might as well just fucking play Sagat."
I don't know, man. Balrog's eating good, man. You should just play Balrog.
Balrog, yeah. Another that shit. Yeah.
Oh,
If you want to fall asleep while winning,
Oh.
you know,
Yeah,
you can
that,
Balrog.
man, that character is boring as fuck. But hey, actually, Painbot, real quick, just if I can ask a question, Ace, can I ask a question real quick?
Go for it.
Painbot actually brought up a cool subject.
Actually, before you do that,
yeah,
hold
yeah.
that question. Hold that question for me.
Okay,
let me
cool.
get
It's your
these
shit,
two,
man. I'm just in the passenger seat.
You
man.
good. You good. Let me get these two questions out the way, and then I'm gonna let y'all cook. Yeah, then I'm gonna let y'all cook. Get it off your chest, man. Say it with your chest. You grown. All right. So Bates, you know what I'm saying? Dang, yo, Bates said run it back on the podcast. And I said yes. So welcome back once again. Our first repeat guest in this series. So I appreciate
Appreciate
your
it.
time,
Making
bro,
history
man.
out here,
You
man.
know what I'm saying? How are you, man? How you been? What you been up to, man?
Man, I've been good, man. Honestly, I've just been enjoying all the new fighting games coming out recently. Enjoying this era of rollback. You know what I'm saying? So I just been, you know, jumping around, playing different fighting games, everything. Playing like games like Gundam Evolution as well. Just messing around. Mainly working though. Like right now, I'm just trying to get my main game up. Focusing on working, saving my money, paying off some debts, getting ready to buy some land here in a little bit. Got me like a little camper. So I'm just trying to make big moves in real life and just tap some buttons on the side and getting ready for this climax event coming up. So
All right.
busy man. I'm getting older, so now I gotta do stuff. It sucks.
I feel
You don't
you,
got the
bro.
gray hair yet, man. You can't join us, man. You can't sit at our table yet, man. We're gonna look at you when you try to sit down with your lunch tray. You gotta
Well,
have
let's try.
I need you gotta get the gray on you, man. Once you get the gray, that's the official
I got a little bit of
telltale
gray,
sign.
Don't let the
Shoot.
nice little beard and that good smile fool you, man. I got a little gray
Shoot.
somewhere.
I turned.
Nah, you got the fountain of youth, man. You a nice one. Y'all
Fountain
don't
of youth.
age. Y'all don't age for some reason, man.
Shoot.
This
Hey
man, nice one,
man,
older.
good
He an
health,
older
man.
player too, but he don't age, man. He still look the same like he was 10, 20, 15 years ago.
No, that's true. That's true. Like Bates haven't really seen the change to me for the past few years, even after the pandemic. I haven't seen anybody for a while. Excuse me. But yeah, you still
Oh,
look the
I
same to me.
appreciate that, man.
Mm-hmm.
I appreciate it.
Still
I just try to take care of myself, man. That's all.
Yeah.
There it is, man. Now remind the world once again about Data FGC because I recently competed a few weeks ago in the ESL Cup, and the commentators weren't too sure. You know what I'm saying about the group? Wasn't too sure about the group, and I'm like, bro, let me ask one of the OGs about the group and what they do. Talk to the good people, man. Tell
Okay,
them what's up.
so Data FGC, obviously, I'm a founding member of Data FGC. Me, Marco, Nani, Akil, Manny, and Rudy. A lot of people don't remember Rudy, but way back in like 2014, we started this group. Basically, the reason we started the group because we want to start running events, running tournaments that were mainly community oriented. At that time, we had like GB and a couple outside tournaments, but even then, they couldn't run like all the niche games and all the other games that people wanted to play. So our whole concept was we want to run tournaments for a community, and whatever games they want, if you were willing to bring the setups, or if you really wanted to get that game ran and y'all had a community, we would run it for you, and we would just run the main games plus whoever reached out to us and said, hey, if Melty Blood Accent Core players wanted to come run a tournament, we'd be like, hey, come to our event. We'll help y'all set it up and everything, and y'all can run y'all tournament there. So that was like the main concept of Data FGC at first. We were a group of people, love fighting games. We just wanted to run a decent tournament, a tournament that was like mainly community oriented. People could come in, whatever game you want to play. We play it. If it was enough people, shit, we just run a tournament for it, and then we have a good fucking time. And we started out like humble beginnings. We started out in GameStop. Ace is
Mm-hmm.
there. Ace know we started out like we ran a bunch of tournaments in crazy places, GameStop, malls,
Mm-hmm.
Microsoft centers. Shit, Retro know when you gotta find a venue for these tournaments and stuff, man. You just
Man,
wherever you can get in where you can fit
I
in,
can.
brother. So
Like I
You
said,
said the magic word, man. You said the V word
yeah.
in this
yeah.
podcast. Yo.
Bruh.
Okay. All right. Go ahead.
So
Finish.
then we started
Mm-hmm.
off doing that, and then we started Marco Gonzalez, aka the Kraken. He really
Shout out to
started
him.
jumping into streaming and everything. So, we all put our heads together, and he really started taking the reins on streams and improving the stream quality, and jumping into arcades as well, like arcade cabinets and stuff. Man, that guy owns, I don't know how many arcade cabinets. I didn't help him pay for some of them, but it's really just mainly him out of pocket from his earnings at his work when he works at events and stuff, streaming, and just everybody knows arcade cabinets are like a lot of money. The upkeep is crazy, and the storage is crazy. So that's really just him out of pocket. And if anybody think we doing this shit for money, I'm glad you think I'm smart enough to make money off this shit, because it's hard. So everything we just done is out of passion, and Marco really got into the streaming thing, really started picking up steam, really learning the ropes from grassroots level up, networking, and he really started. Now he's been doing big events. Just did Evo this past August, and I think he done helped you out too, Retro, and CEO Frosty and everything.
Like I said, major shout outs to him, because I mean, like I said, and he'll tell you the stories and the struggles and everything, and of course he mentioned you guys as well, like of what it takes to run events and be part of the community, everything. That's me. So with you, ShadowAce, BigBates, Painbot, shout out to all four of you guys, and many others in the FGC for me, because I still feel I don't maybe feel like a baby anymore, but I still learning myself from my end how to help run stuff for the community here. So the thing is that you guys pretty much we may be around the same age, but the amount of wisdom and knowledge that you guys carry is with the Data FGC and Gwinnett Brawl, rest in peace, and many of the Atlanta communities and the communities that have been around long before us. I really commend you guys for what you have done, and that way that you guys can help continue to guide us. So for us to keep it carrying on, it's a lot of shoes to fulfill. So hearing this story, what you're talking about, how the Data FGC became about and how it's going, we hope to continue that tradition in the sense and the culture of it. So we thank you for that, being trailblazers.
Nah, man, I appreciate it. Being considered a trailblazer, that means a lot, actually.
I know, definitely. I really mean it. I truly mean it.
Yeah, it's man, it was a lot of long nights, a lot of how after the tournament you got to pack everything up and then immediately going to work. Actually, it's funny enough, that video y'all showed earlier, I had just got done working. And then I think me and Painbot drove to that tournament together. But it's like trying to hold down a full-time job, especially I work blue collar, so I'm an electrician. So I'm working a lot of hours and working a lot of physical labor, which helps me keep in shape and stuff. So I can't even complain. It's tiring and it's taxing on you. It's hard to do that every month, every week. So a lot of people don't understand the sacrifices STOs make. And just any little bit of support helps.
Yes.
And my role within Data FGC is community manager. So that's just basically anytime a player wants to reach out to us, or they got a question, or they want to get something done, or they want to collab, all they got to do is reach out to me, and I'll do my best to help out. So that's Data FGC, man. I appreciate everybody's helped us out. We've gotten a lot of support from the community. Shout out to the fam, Corey, Chewy, D Wang, Will, the Tank. Like it goes. The list is forever. How much help we get from the community. So shout outs to all. I want to get a huge shout outs to all those guys, because without them we wouldn't be able to do half the shit. And shout outs to Ace Pivotal.
Hey.
And when we first started, Ace was there since the beginning. So I appreciate Ace a lot. That's why I fuck with Ace heavy. Yep.
A long time, yeah. It's just, I mean, words can't express like what you guys have done and what you continue to do for the scene, man. It's truly a blessing, man. Truly a blessing. But I appreciate that.
Oh yeah,
man.
shout out to Oddball too, man, the homie.
Oh yeah,
homie Oddball.
Yeah, my Street Fighter 4 training partner.
What up, Oddball? What's going on? Good to see you, man.
All right. So let me dive in. Let me talk to the Painbot, man. You know what I'm saying? Why y'all laughing? I ain't say nothing
That's
yet.
why nobody here for me, man. They're here for the Painbot.
The Painbot, man.
The
Look,
Painbot.
a
Legend.
man of many names, a man of many titles,
Oh
a
yeah.
hero to some, and a villain to others.
But the president of Samsho
You're
too.
currently,
Vice
you know what I'm
President.
saying?
Vice President.
Oh my God. If you're currently a Samurai Showdown 2019 player and you haven't heard this name before,
Mm-hmm.
murmured in the community, you might be fucking up.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Known as, who is Alpha, Bully Bot, content creator, president of the United States, or vice president of the United States of Sham Show, Kawan Searcher. You know what I'm saying? A man of many names. I could go on and on forever. Like, there's a lot of titles this guy carries, man.
Mm-hmm.
But Painbot, I need you to talk to the good people and explain the infamous SNK Pipebomb. Because that
Oh.
came from the heart. I need to know. I need to know. I need to
Shit.
know.
SNK Pipebomb.
I need to know the story behind it. Painbot,
Please.
can you please enlighten us on what happened?
I'm trying to think if I explained it on my podcast at one point from top to bottom, but I don't think I did. I
Mhm.
may have just explained that I was mad, but the
Yeah.
there's a reason. So if I so unfortunately or fortunately, SNK had a good game called Samurai Showdown made back in the day. It's been like 3 years now.
Mhm.
And I was all about that game. So was Bates, and we were active, very active competitors. Bates obviously is more active than me because that dude don't give a shit, and he will just go to wherever.
I'm a nut.
Fair.
It's
Fair.
okay. I'm a nut.
And, but I was still training really hard
Mhm.
to compete, and I still made my best effort to stay ahead of Bates in competition and anyone else that was like within our area. And I was really looking forward to I wasn't ever gonna compete in the world tour for SNK because
Mhm.
at the time there was a world tour for Samurai Showdown, and I didn't really ever say I was gonna do it because I had no plans of like traveling very far. I'm very I'm not a well traveled person, and I
Mhm.
don't make the effort to travel really far. And one second. And I don't make the effort to travel very much.
Mhm.
And but it's still grinding my gears what SNK was doing, because what ended up happening was, even though this was a world tour and there were invitational slots that were being earned by competing in these events,
Mhm.
there was a this shit cracks me up every time. And anytime I start thinking about it, I can't believe this shit.
Okay.
But essentially, I think 4 slots out of, I think, like 16, 4 to 8. It was something crazy, and those slots were gonna just be exclusively given to China, and
Oh, I think I remember seeing something like that.
Yeah.
that shit is fucking absurd. And the only reason it's absurd is because those guys didn't even have the fucking game.
What?
They didn't even own the fucking game because, if, as you may know, China has a staunch like stance against violence and like nudity in their video games.
Mm-hmm. Right.
You may have seen the Mai Shiranui like outfit of her wearing like the jury like onesie underneath, where you can't see her titties or anything.
Right.
And that character is 95% titty, so they had to just cover her from top to bottom.
She's a one big old boob.
Yeah,
big old
so like
boob
that's her
hanging
whole
out.
character design for the most part. And so, in order to allow Samurai Showdown in China, they had to go through censorship, and they didn't do it quickly enough. But they still held the tournament in China before the game
Wow.
even fucking released. So essentially, they were gonna just give away slots to competitors that had no idea what the fuck the game was,
Oh
because
no.
of. But mostly it was obviously money
Mm-hmm.
that made this happen, because China, as you may know, is a huge consumer of SNK products for historical reasons.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't feel like explaining it because I could do a whole 3-hour conversation about that.
Fair.
But it's not a bad thing that it's popular. It's just that that's the reason why they made the exception for them. Now, obviously, I'm pissed because even though I'm not gonna compete, it's still like a slap in the face in the heart of competition in general. And SNK had already been on my bad side because they had just recently fucked the lobbies and they didn't even work. So they not only did they fuck the lobbies, they also did that shit like a month later. So I had already gotten really pissed off because SNK had a really SNK has like a huge record of fucking the shit over and over again.
Yeah.
Because KOF 12 was almost a non-functional game. KOF 13, by the way, KOF 12 was the first piece of content I ever made. I fucking made a video review warning people to not buy that game. That's how bad that game was. That was my first ever content ever. And it was to tell people not to buy that shit and to just throw it in the garbage if they come across one. And 13 came out, and if anyone here is, older than 12, they may have played KOF 13
I did.
at some point. And KOF 13, as you may have known, if obviously if you aren't being some crazed fanboy, that game's net play is really legendarily bad. Like even amongst that generation of trash netcode, which we all know, all of us in here should know, that era of netcode was trash all around except for like maybe Skullgirls. But that era, trash netcode everywhere.
Yeah.
KOF 13, even worse than that. Like that's how bad it was. Like that game, to understand just how bad KOF 13 was in terms of netcode, that game was sensational as an event to watch. People loved watching KOF 13. They thought that shit was hype. It was unbalanced bullshit because the DLC characters were so strong.
Yeah.
But even then, people loved watching that game. Like they just loved watching it. But that's all it ever was. Because as soon as the player base dwindled a little, it became unplayable because you needed good connections to play to begin with ever. So you would only ever play people within like your state or barely out of your state. Barely. And that was the best that you could ever manage. And when that got a little old, you ran out of players. So then you couldn't connect to anyone. So then less people played. You couldn't connect to those people. So the less people played. And then, it just kind of fell down upon itself. Just like all fighting games of that generation that were not Street Fighter 4 had that issue. Where if the install player base ever dwindled, they would fall off. And eventually the game would kind of just fall into like being incredibly niche. And this is before Discord too, so like finding games would be insane.
Oh yeah,
and this is why like anyone who's like anybody who's like a scrub moron that comments on like our plea for rollback and wants to say it's not that big of a deal, these guys are those guys. Fuck those guys. Those guys that play the game for like a month and then go fucking jack off somewhere else. Those guys are the guys to blame for this shit because they're too busy trying to fucking play the arcade mode and then fucking move on to like Call of Duty in like a month. So like that's that whole saga of like those games of that generation followed that for a long time. There was like an anime there used to be like a meme about anime fighting games where the new one's coming out and this one's dead. Like literally BlazBlue would be out, Persona comes out. Okay, BlazBlue's dead. Persona comes out. We're playing Persona. Okay, new BlazBlue comes out. Okay, Persona's dead. We're playing BlazBlue. Like it's only because the install people, the initial installation of people playing would be available on the newer game, and so there was no incentive to stay on the old one. And it's not like the games were totally dead. Obviously, there's still people that play them no matter what. But when I say it's dead, I'm saying like you could not turn the game on, find a proper game when you felt like it every time. Like there was no guarantee. You would have to just make do. You truly would just make do. And SNK happened to be even worse than all that put together. So pre-existing all that, KOF 14 comes out. That shit just does not work online at all. And the game's fucking busted. But eventually they fixed it. And the online still delayed netcode and the lobbies were good. But I was super disappointed because I got Samurai Showdown 2019. And despite everything in my gut that told me this game was going to be garbage, the gameplay was so good that I just ignored the obvious signs that it was cobbled together with fucking tape. Because that game, man, do you know what a captain is?
The captain of the lobby?
Yeah.
Yeah. The
Oh, you know
host.
what a captain. Retro. What if I said there's a captain in the lobby? What does that shit mean to you?
What?
If I said if there's a captain in a
Talking
lobby,
about, yeah.
what does that shit mean to you?
I am the captain now.
The host of the lobby?
No,
Host. No?
Nope.
no.
Not in Samsho world.
Not a Samurai Showdown.
So
So you guys, so both Ace, the guy who played that shit, and Retro, who did not play online, don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. So in fucking Samurai Showdown,
Okay.
for some reason,
Uh-huh.
I know Ace played KO at 14. I have memories of this. So Ace, you know how their lobbies worked. They were pretty good near the end of his lifespan, right? They had multiple lobbies, multiple people at the same time could play. And you had pretty much like the best lobby system, really. It's still this day, it's probably still one of the best. And it was pretty good, right? Right, Ace?
Yeah, you had multiple people in the lobby. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
Now, okay, so this is the same company. Now, this same company that made Samurai Showdown
Uh-huh.
and that game, which had the perfect lobby system,
All right.
and they suffered through critiquing their game.
Mhm.
Instead of making another system functional with their previously existing lobby system, they made this system in place. This is crazy, man. You're gonna fucking laugh your ass off. I
Okay.
can't even get through this. How stupid this shit is. So this really is borderline one of the dumbest things I've seen in any video game ever, and it's in my favorite video game. It's crazy. So in this system, the way it works is that there's a captain. This is the first version of the game, by the way. This version only lasted 2.5 weeks. Thank God. And you get into the lobby.
Uh-huh.
Now, everyone that gets into the lobby is piled up on the top of the row. Now, in the middle, there's one lobby. There's only one person that can play another person. And then everyone else can move into the bottom row and spectate.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this sounds slightly awful, but it's still not that bad comparatively to other shit. But this is where the part gets fucking crazy. The captain, quote unquote, is just player one. I don't know why it's called captain. I really don't even to this day know why the fuck it's called captain. Now, the second player will be on the bottom of the middle of the lobby. Now, you've played a fighting game online before, right, Retro?
Yeah.
Okay. So in Street Fighter V,
Yes.
when two people play in Street Fighter V, you know
Right.
how they're all lined up, correct?
Correct. Yes.
And if there's multiple people in the lobby, they are lined up.
Mhm.
And I'm assuming that you're also aware that when the loser loses, unless the lobby is set some crazy way, like in Guilty Gear, if the loser loses, they will go to the bottom, and the next
Right.
person will go to the top.
That's correct. Correct.
Okay. So let me tell you what the guys at SNK thought was the fucking way they thought they were.
Oh, I see where you're going with
Wait,
this. I'm
so
sorry. Go
I
ahead.
played
Yeah.
online
the
before.
way they want
Okay.
the way they wanted this to work was that when the captain, quote unquote, and the other guy plays, they fucking it kicks everyone back out to the top, and then you have to manually reorder yourself. That means in a group of 8 people, you guys have to talk amongst yourself in Discord, I'm assuming, and then make the guy who won back in place where he's supposed to be, and then the guy who was next go in there. And if you were spectating, it would kick you back up to the top too. So even if you wanted to spectate, you had to actively watch this shit, and then keep reordering yourself as the game because it would keep kicking everybody out. So it was fucking anarchy. Literally, if the fucking guy win or lose, you kicked up to the top, and then whoever got in first, like musical chairs, that's who got to play next.
That's exactly what I was gonna say. It was exactly like musical chairs because you had once it kicked everybody back out, it like whoever had to rush. I guess they had to rush to get that spot because of the order. The order got fucked up. Yeah, that was terrible, awful.
Okay,
Awful experience.
I never experienced it, maybe in that sense, but I remember I did play online for Samsho, maybe at one point on the PS4. But if anything, like once or twice. But I probably didn't really pay attention to how that functioned. But it felt weird to me at some point. And I knew something was off, but I didn't know exactly what it was. Wow, that's yeah.
That only lasted
Okay.
for 2.5 weeks, but I'll never forget. And the only reason I'll never forget that shit because that is the worst idea I've ever seen in a video game. Period. And not only the kicker was that they also had this weird function in the game
Mm-hmm.
where you could applaud and like make sounds during the gameplay.
Oh yeah. Okay, I do remember that. Yeah. Okay, I do remember that.
So I don't understand how they have the fucking audience feature and they have the ghost mode, quote unquote, where it records AI of a person, but then they fucking have this crazy lobby that's so fucking dumb. I couldn't believe it. I really couldn't believe it. That is the dumbest shit I've ever seen in anything. A game about winning where after the game's over, it kicks everyone back out so people who can just fight over the fucking guy who's next.
Mm-mm-mm.
That shit is crazy. Nothing is ever gonna top that. I can't think of anything in my life that tops how stupid that shit is. That was insane. And so this is all pretext of the obviously this is a long wind up to what I'm talking about, but I have to let y'all know that I'm not like some fucking I'm not some like I'm not like walking around looking for fights.
Right.
There's a lot of shit that happens winding up to this shit I'm gonna be talking about in a second. So essentially that happened. The game was fucked up. The game's net play was super bad. Like it borderlines KOF 13's trash. Which is crazy because KOF 14's right there. It literally is right there. Like, how did you take a step back from that? And then they fucking fixed the lobbies eventually. So I was like, okay. They made some patches to the game that made the game more balanced. Like, okay. And then they fucking then they broke the goddamn lobbies. The lobbies stopped working correctly. What would happen is it would randomly crash for no real reason. There was no real trigger. So they broke the actual lobbies to where if you played so often, eventually it will just fucking crash. It'll just crash. It just crashed and there was no rhyme or reason for it. And then for a while, people to get around that, they were playing in the team lobby where you could do like 3v3 and that they were just like taking turns because our community is tiny, so you can just like talk to each other and make that shit work.
Right.
And so they did that until they found out there's a bug specific to that lobby that it will just hold your input. And I remember seeing a video of it. It was like Andy running, and then he couldn't stop running. He just kept running.
He just kept running into the wall, man.
Yeah, he couldn't stop. And he had to get someone to hit him. And he's like, well, I guess we're fucked. Because the team lobbies would not break. They would not crash. But they had a bug that would just ruin the game completely.
And all these negative things were going on in the middle of fuck it. If it ain't got rollback, fuck that game.
Yeah,
Wow.
on top of that
On top of it, like it had all these glitchy, all the stuff that Painbot explained, and then it didn't have rollback. So all at once, the FGC like said, "Fuck this game."
Literally at the same time, everyone
Yeah.
said fuck Samurai Showdown at the same time.
Man.
So I was still loving the game though, but I pretty much had only resigned myself to play Bates locally, or anyone else in Georgia that wanted to show up and hang out. That was pretty much it.
Right.
And eventually, it was there was one A-Town Tidings where +2 like did a Christmas event.
Oh yeah.
And we went to go do that. And I had already gotten I was already incredibly frustrated with SNK because I had, given them the benefit of the doubt. And I got fucking burned again because I was like, this is fucking Capcom all over again. And I trusted them and they fucking just fucked me over again.
Yep.
And so finally A-Town Tidings happened. And I was still incredibly frustrated because I think I had found out maybe a week before this shit about the China situation where they were all giving like damn near half the invitation slots for a game they don't even own because of money. And I was fuming. So I went to go play at A-Town Tidings and I ended up winning. And which is hilarious.
No surprise though.
And so
I mean, it wasn't easy, man. You had to fight, the president Samsho himself
that guy's
in grand final. You had to work for it, but it's all good. You know what I'm saying?
that
I mean, it was just a 7-3 matchup for you. No problem, man. You know, easy
I mean,
win.
I don't know about this new president, but the old president can play multiple characters.
I could play what? No, the new president could play more. Actually, the new president won the last tournament in the
Yeah,
state,
but was it A-Town Tidings?
and he beat everybody else. I
But
mean,
was
I
it
ran it.
but
No,
was it A-Town Tidings?
A-Town Tidings was my tournament. We ran that shit. Data.
I know you lost at your own tournament.
Shout out to Roman Nova for helping out with that tournament.
How you
That's
gonna
it.
lose?
It wouldn't
How
have
you gonna lose at your own
You
tournament?
don't know about the story. You
It
don't
would have
jump in
happened
like that,
without me,
mate.
you know. My bad. I can't. He just glossed over playing the president.
Oh, you
You know,
felt
I can't let that happen.
because he didn't mention your name. That's why.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, okay.
This guy, he just snatched. You see how he just snatched the mic from me just to talk about himself? What a crazy, self-centered guy. This guy's the community manager too. You gotta keep an eye on this
Community
dude.
league is supposed to be the vice president. Bro. This man said, "How dare you not mention my name? Who you fought against to get there to the grand final? How dare you?"
Okay, yeah. Go ahead, man.
But essentially, I was pissed. I beat the current guy, you know, as I would normally, and
This guy, man.
and
Current
so
guy. The current guy.
I fucking beat him, and then because he wants to bring this shit up, now I'm gonna be serious. I was trying to be a gentle. I was trying to be like a gentle fucking.
Nah, ain't no gentle.
What's the
here.
word? What's the word I'm
We
looking
embrace
for?
that out here, right? We embrace.
I was
that
trying to
thing.
be more cordial to my host, but now that's fucking gone because this guy want to chime in and snatch the mic from my fucking hand just to mention that he lost to me. That was crazy. Why would you fight to mention that you lost to me?
Anyway, you know.
So, anyway, this tournament, the final note for this story is that the tournament was fucking hosted by SNK. It wasn't hosted. It was sponsored by SNK. They had sent them a bunch of goodies and shit to hand out and everything. There was a nice little sponsored by SNK logo at the bottom of the screen.
It was a
All kinds
collab event.
Yeah, but it said sponsored by SNK, right?
No, I'm not saying wrong. I'm just saying it was SNK. So what we did was we had Romanova wanted to host a big like Christmas event, and then she collabed with DATAFGC, and we worked with her to get the event sponsored by SNK, and then we did it at Access Replay.
Right.
So, it was a fun event, man.
Oh, it was fun, dude. Was like the giveaways with the gifts and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, we did like a little Secret Santa.
Yeah, that was. Yeah. Well, yeah. Keep it going. I'm sorry.
Yeah, essentially,
Ace Uno who won the ugly sweater contest.
Oh,
that wasn't ugly.
He had the sweater.
Like a reindeer or some shit.
Yeah.
It was crazy looking. I don't have I wasn't gonna compete with that. So that was it. But eventually, since SNK sponsored this event, I honestly don't think before I speak my mind. I just say the first thing that comes to my head most of the time because I usually think is correct. So
I said the disclaimer before we got started, so they know what it is.
We just got done, and they were lining us up to like talk about the event and like what we were gonna do and all that shit. And Romanova went to interview me to like talk about like Samurai Showdown and shit, and I was still pissed. And I was happy I won, but like in my head, in my body, the fire remained.
Right.
So I went. We were talking, and she went to interview me. And Bates is there, by the way. Bates is there, and so is Ace Uno. You can see, if you watch the video, you can just see him to my left, just dying.
Yeah.
And so
I should bring it up.
She goes, she like asked me like, you know, this, that you won, this, that, and the other. Like, yeah. So is there anything you want to say to the guys who compete? And I was like, you know, at the time I was pretty psyched still about Samurai Showdown. So, you know, I tell everybody, you know, if you're gonna play Samurai Showdown and you wanna play sometime, I'll be there. You know, maybe I'll travel, I'll be there. And then I was like, so long as SNK don't fuck it up. Because I was still pissed, right? So I said, as long as SNK don't fuck it up. And she looked at me like she couldn't believe I said that shit, and then she looked at the camera like, "Where do we go from here?" And it's almost like when fucking Kanye was popping off. about the hurricane, and then Mike Myers is looking at him. Michael Myers looking at was it Mike Myers looking at him like, that's not what you're supposed to say, man. And, when you go back and watch when you go back and watch the video, it just says sponsored by SNK right underneath me when I said that shit. Like, I hope SNK don't fuck this shit up, you know. And Ace and Bates is behind me, just dying.
I'm posting
But
the chat, but I found it.
Yeah, essentially, that's the story behind that shit. I was pissed. All that shit happened, and it culminated in that moment where I won. And I was so, like, I didn't think about it. I was just like, oh, SNK fucked up, so I'm just going to say about this shit. Because in my heart, that was the truth. Like, I'm going to keep playing Samurai Showdown unless SNK fucks it up. And you know what they did? They fucked it up big time. And no one plays that shit now. And people still play. Obviously, people still play. But, like, the numbers, like, tanked because of COVID. And, like, the fact that their game just doesn't work online. Like, essentially, that's just a recipe for failure, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, your game doesn't work online and people can't play offline. Like, that's it. The shit's done. And people obviously made efforts to keep playing using Parsec and shit, but it still sucked. They tried what they could, but that game was doomed.
Yeah, shout out to Trigger Bear and DMV.
Yeah, shout out to those who just tried. Period. But you know, this getting rolled back this spring.
You know,
so
I know, man. So that's definitely a sign of the sign of the time. So it's obvious, you know, you're passionate about the game you play. Now we're entering a new era, quote unquote, the rollback revival era. Shouts to Frosty Faustins for calling the Samsho tournament that at the
Hell
event.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
we
definitely.
did get denied. We got denied 2 years of non-embracing death due to COVID. You know, and as nature was slowly healing, do you believe more events will promote and feature Samurai Showdown as their main title now that the Rollback Revival has been announced from Evo? Anybody?
I mean, I want to play, but I don't know if I want to drive anywhere.
You went to Lunar Belt. That was somewhere.
No, they paid for me to go out there.
Oh, okay.
They paid my way for that. That's why I went. And also, I only went because I talked shit and I got in trouble.
Got in trouble?
I had to prove that I was better. Which I did.
What place did you get?
I got third. I lost to Andy OCR twice.
Yeah,
this is trash Tam though. This is not after he got buffed. This is back when Tam couldn't even punish DPs with his SSN 95% of the time.
Yeah.
So now that
struggle bus back then, boy, struggle.
Yeah,
unless you're playing versus Gendro.
Unless you're fighting Gendro, yeah. If you're
Unless
fighting Gendro, you're eating pretty good, but other than that, everybody else is looking pretty nice compared to that kid.
Yeah, I mean, I could picture more events putting that game back into the title, especially when the rollback, quote unquote rollback patch comes through. And of course, everybody's going to be looking forward to your review. Yours is actually going to be the most anxious. I'm curious to listen to, just to see like, I want the full thorough analysis, the lobbies. I want to make sure the ping, the jitter, and all that other stuff. I need the full Painbot approval review. That's how we know that the patch actually works. And if it doesn't work, I'm pretty sure you're gonna let SNK know that it's not.
Yeah,
working.
they'll fucking know. I have a contact. Trust me.
That boy got connects.
And fucking, the thing is though, there is one good thing about this is that this is not a pure SNK solution. This is Code Mystics, who is responsible for KOF 98 Ultimate Fight Edition and Samurai Showdown 5 Special and their ports, which have really, 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 really good rollback. I'm talking about like tip top. And it's probably like one of the best in general, like as I've ever played.
Okay.
So if they're the ones that are going to be putting their hands on Samurai Showdown, because not even fucking KOF 15 has this. So if Code Mystics is the one getting their hands involved for Samurai Showdown 2019, then I have full faith that this game is going to be functional and working. Because I mean, that's just I don't think they want that on their hands. They don't want like bad publicity for being like, why the fuck did you leave the lobbies broken? Like, what the hell's the point of the rollback working if the lobbies are still broken? Like, I highly doubt they'll do that because they have never done wrong before. They've made the shit really, really good every time. it would be strange if this is the outlier.
Yeah, maybe a beta test or two, real quick before they release it, and then I think it'll be fine.
Yeah, we'll see about that shit. I don't know if SNK's ever done a beta test.
I hope so, man. I think they'd be missing out.
They should just do what fucking Arxis did with Blaze Blue and just leave it in permanent beta test out until it's fixed. They should just do that. Like shit, man. It doesn't work now anyway. Like who gives a fuck?
Yeah,
It doesn't even work. Like what
it
do you
doesn't.
lose?
No, you're right. You got nothing to lose, bro.
You literally got nothing to lose. The shit don't work. No one's playing. Just give us the fucking beta. Like you're waiting for you to lose to you guys. Ooh.
Could you imagine they having a conference? Can you imagine they having a conference? The guy goes in the conference, he's like, God damn it! We lost 7 of them yesterday.
You see,
Sales are down.
you see the numbers drop.
Sales are down.
Sitting in
Legit.
that lobby for 33 hours.
Like I'm not even hyperbole. Like this is legit 2 people. Backward before the rollback announcements, I would say there was probably 2 people on 7 on the PC version a day. Like 2 people.
Yeah, that is bad, man. Honestly, though, you know what's funny, Painbot though? I bet once we get rollback, we'd be doing better than DNF Duel. Why?
Probably. Not even lying, man. Probably.
So my thing is about the main games. I don't think it'll be a main game because when they're gonna release the rollback, I think 6 is gonna come out, and then League of Legends probably gonna do their thing, and then Tekken 8.
Right.
So by that time, there's gonna be like no room for like Samsho, but as a solid side tournament, I think it'll have some longevity for sure. It really is incumbent of how strong the Samsho community can come together and push it, because the Samsho community is a really good community, strong community.
True.
And yeah, we can stick around. I mean, I really do. 'Cause there's like no other game that spectates like Samsho. Like anybody I've seen at a tournament walking past Samsho tournament, they always be like, "What the hell is going on?"
I mean,
it's like you always get a reaction. People love watching Samsho.
I can attest to that.
Why that one move take 50% off his life?
Okay.
What happened?
You know what? You know what? This is perfect. I can attest to that because you know what? The first time Samsho was introduced to the Reboot tournament, if I could just bring up, I actually do have to highlight too that match, the finals between you and Painbot. Man, I still got the video. I have the actually I still have it. I might play it a little bit later, maybe. But yeah, that clip, I have a clip of it, and I'm gonna do a highlight of it a little later. But that clip and the highlight with the scramble and everything, I remember clear as day, where me and like 7 other people were running around screaming, yelling, because it was so intense. That first, it was one of my favorite highlights of all time. That introduction for Samsho to our scene, listen, I'll never forget. It's iconic. It's at some point I will be doing a retrospective episode for my own series. We'll have the era of whatever. We basically won't have it talk about the Samsho era, and you guys definitely set the amazing standard of how the Samsho will function. Because right now, and then even nowadays, we have players that actually play Samsho special, 5 special, and there have a few that I said in the chat, like FC Jesus, not Jesus, I'm sorry, Chris, FGC Chris, and of course you got Dr. Bane, or Database we call him, that's going to do the new Samsho. So y'all guys have became a major influence on us for sure, especially I think. And then you have the son, the kid, the one and only Neil, who won CEO of this year in Samsho, beat Violent Kane, I believe, in the finals.
No, he beat me in the grand final.
I'm sorry. Yeah, he beat Kane, and then he played you. Cause it was like y'all the top 3. But yeah, he's only like 21 years old now, and that kid, like, yeah. But I just maybe a little tangent, but I definitely want to attest to a major testament of what like y'all guys brought to Samsho, what it done for us, our scene. I never expected for us to have someone in our area to become really strong to that point. And then, of course, he's not from here, but he's here for the moment. But still, the influence that has, the impact of that game has on us, wanting to see that happen, see the game supported. And hopefully we bring that back here, for sure.
Yeah,
Sure,
man, that's just what it's all about, brother. Right there.
It is community. Love to see it, man. Love to see it. So we're gonna dive into a couple of questions here, and we're just gonna get this out the way, man. I mean, we ain't gonna sugarcoat it. I was gonna say this for the last, but I think this question might be an hour by itself.
I'm not gonna sugarcoat it.
Let's get
Please
to it,
don't,
man.
please
You know,
don't.
Painbot is gonna let you feel it, man.
Please
Yeah,
don't.
He already let me feel
that's
it.
why I
God
said
damn.
we need to do an extra hour because I know Paintbot's gonna go in, and let's go.
Mhm.
Is Street Fighter 5 a bad game? Go.
Yes.
Let's get it,
Yeah.
Paintbot. Let's get it. Come on.
Tell me.
Come on.
I
talk
want to
to
hear.
me.
I already know what I'm gonna say. Let me hear what Bates gotta say.
Oh, okay. I get to go first. Oh,
Go ahead,
man.
please.
I already
Flattered,
heard
man.
myself talk about this. I
I'm
got it.
flattered. Okay, yeah. Street Fighter 5 is a bad game, and I'm not even gonna talk about gameplay. I'm gonna tell you why. Street Fighter 5 was a terrible game in logistics. I'm gonna give you facts. I'm gonna actually give you facts. Crazy. Like whenever you listen to people talk about Street Fighter, they give you, man, they don't like V trigger, crush counters, priority system, and you know what? That's true. But that's just part of the game. If you just don't like that part of it, then maybe it's not your cup of tea, man. Maybe some people like Chardonnays, some people like Cabernets, some people like White Zinfandel. It's just you pick what you like, right? So
Mm-hmm.
people, if you like that, I can't fault you for that. If you're not gonna say it's bad, I mean, White Zinfandel is trashy to some people, but if you like White Zinfandel, then shit, I ain't gonna say nothing. But me, I'm gonna tell you facts. So I'm gonna give you the facts on why Street Fighter 5 is trash. When Street Fighter 5 released, we got an alpha. Everybody played the beta. Y'all all played the beta, right? When they announced the beta, you got to get on there and try play online matches, no training mode, right?
I mean, according to someone, we've been playing the beta for 2 years after that.
Yeah, no. We got the alpha, brother. Let me tell you,
okay.
we got the alpha.
Damn, not even
So
beta status.
when
That's
it first
crazy.
came out, you pay your $60. You're like, great, man, this game, Street Fighter 5. We haven't had a new Street Fighter in what, like 8 years before that, 8, 9 years. So you get on there
Mm.
and you look at that menu, and it ain't shit on that menu. You ain't got nothing on that fucking menu. You ain't got a story mode. You got trash, and then you got some garbage ass trials, right? So you click on it, and then you're like, all right, well, I didn't buy this shit for those modes anyway. I bought it for online. So you go online, and guess what? Matchmaking not working. You getting matched up against all kind of crazy shit. Sound ain't working. I think it was no. The sound was working. It was something else with the lobbies that would
There was
glitch
no
out.
lobbies.
Yeah, there was no lobby. Okay, so
yeah,
you
it
can even
wasn't,
play
yeah.
in lobbies. Yeah,
It
you
is
can even
allowed
play in
lobbies.
lobbies.
You couldn't
Come
play in
on,
the casual
man.
lobbies at all.
Then they had this stupid ass profile mode. You like look at your stats and shit. That didn't work. So the game you released, none of the features worked. And let's not mention, okay, that when you play it offline, only player one could rematch. You couldn't even, as player two, hit rematch. Only player one. You had to sit there and thumbs up across the table and be like, "Hey man, can we start?" That other dude could have looked at his phone, typed some messages on Twitter, chat his girlfriend, whatever, and you couldn't start until he said so. I don't know what kind of mental mind games you wanted to play, but you already got people out here teabagging. So shit, if you want to do that, go for it. I don't know, shit. I ain't, that was an option back then. So not only did they have features that didn't work, wasn't well thought out, they released that game early. So right off the rip, season 1 Street Fighter 5, garbage. Wasn't even a whole game. So you can't argue me that. That's how you know Street Fighter 5 when it first came out was trash. And we lost a whole bunch of people. I know y'all remember that first final round. Y'all, I guess everybody was at that first final round.
Oh boy.
You know how packed that tournament was?
Okay.
You know how many people were excited to play Street Fighter 5 for the first time, and they tanked through all that bullshit? Well, guess what? The year after that, season 2, it wasn't even close to that many people because the game was garbage when it first came out. So me personally, right? First impressions mean a lot. If you're an adult, you know that. So that game, when it first came out, left a really bad first impression. Now, if Street Fighter V released how it is now, Champion Edition, I would be able to. I would sit here and say this may be one of the best Street Fighter games to come out, right? Because of all the extra shit, right? All the bells and whistles, and the add-ons, and the glitter they done put on the game and shit has made it into a decent fighting game. The core gameplay, in my opinion, is still trash, and what they want you to do is still garbage. But at least it's a game. You got fight money, you can gamble, do loot boxes and shit. You still got stuff to do, right?
Right.
When that game first came out, for all of 4 seasons, they didn't have none of that shit. Alex didn't even get a trailer. Nobody ever talk about that. Alex didn't even get a fucking trailer when he got released. They just threw that character in there. Hey man, here you go, Alex.
I still wait for that trailer though.
To this day, Alex didn't even get a fucking trailer.
I think they made the trailer, but it just was way after the fact.
Yeah.
So no one really gives a fuck at that point.
So they was dialing it in, and the game felt like they was dialing it in. So everybody kind of branched out to new games. This when Pokken Tournament came out. This is when KOF 14 came out. That game was trash, but people were still willing to play it because Street Fighter 5 was so bad. So they tried KOF 14. Tekken 7 really started picking up steam. So what happened was, you have a bunch of delusional people trying to advertise the game because esports was really getting pushed. I don't think there was ever a bigger esports push than when Street Fighter 5 first came out.
Because if I remember, it was the ESPN.
Evo was at ESPN, right? Retro, yeah. So you're having all these other outside entities who have a vested interest in Street Fighter 5 esports, even though the game is garbage. They still invested a lot of money into Street Fighter 5. So now you have what everybody's calling people shills. Oh yeah, he's a shill. He's a fucking shill. And really, the real hate for Street Fighter 5 for all these new Street Fighter 5 players that don't understand and came in when the game was halfway decent is there was a shift in the FGC. And that shift was, if this game ain't got rollback, fuck it. And esports and content creation. There was a big old shift, right? So you had people who became financially invested in pushing games for their content, for their sponsors, and etc. Right? So people would straight up lie about whether they this is what happened with Mike Ross, right? Mike Ross knew that game was garbage. He knew that game was garbage. He probably got to play it before it came out and was like, this game is garbage. But guess what? That was when Exit Adventures was going ham and content creator was pushing. So he probably was like, okay, this is a really good opportunity for us. And he couldn't even tank through how bad the game was. Even when his pockets would have got big on this shit, he was like, man, fuck this shit. This game is trash. I don't want to play it. So if anybody ever wants to argue me if Street Fighter 5 is a good game or not, I say, well, when it first came out, it was garbage. And these are facts. You can't argue this. These are not things you could argue. No modes, no online. Online was trash. No lobbies. Was barely functioning offline. And it released with 8 frames of delay. We had to beg them motherfuckers to get rid of that delay. People forget about that. They purposely put delay in the game to make other people have a chance. So I'm not trying to hear this. And fucking Lupe Fiasco beat Daigo on some shield shit. So I'm not trying to hear Street Fighter 5, bro. I'll leave it at that. That's case closed.
Case closed.
Case closed. You can't tell me that didn't happen. All of it happened.
It is. All of that were accurate historical events that did occur during the lifespan of this game.
Now, yeah. You may like the characters. You may like popping B trigger and winning. You may like crush counters. You may like, I don't know what you like to do in that game, but if you like it, that's cool. But you can't sit here and objectively argue that the game is not trash when it released the way it did, and you had to spend how much money? At the end of, I think if you bought everything, if you bought all their bullshit DLC, you probably spent over $400, $500 on that game.
I say at least just for character wise, probably like at least $100. 100 and 120 around that mark.
Yeah, just for the characters, right?
Yeah.
Which I do like. They had like a thing where you could like play the characters for a certain amount of time for free,
Mm-hmm.
which makes me think they're gonna go to a free to play model eventually. Which I think that's cool. That might change the game a little bit, but if all they released so much content and they had, like you said, over like $100 a character worth of characters, it's like that game wasn't worth that, bro. Come on, man, you know better than that. Arcs is out here re-releasing their old games with rollback, and they outclassing the fuck out of those games. I'm not trying to hear that. But yeah, I give it to Painbot now. You got it, Mike.
Now, before we get into Painbot, man, because this man is stewing. This man is stewing. The chat is anxious.
Mhm.
Look, I'm gonna say my quick piece on it before I pass it on to Retro. Then from Retro, then we'll go to Painbot. I'll say the game. I like of course Base pretty much summed it up exactly how I felt about the game. I mean, when it started, it turned off a lot of people of the game. Even when the beta was there, even I think there was even like a beta tournament at Gwinnett Brawl, and people were like weren't really feeling it then, because of the like again the 8 frame delay and it's just that it just wasn't the cup of tea. It wasn't what people were used to. So whoever stayed or stuck with the game, then they kind of got used to the engine and the system and realized, well, this ain't 4, and we got to stop looking at it as it trying to be a 4, trying to be 4. So they had to like kind of separate that. But for the most parts, it did leave a bad taste in a lot of players' mouth, and it turned off a lot of our Street Fighter 4 players. So they just didn't really take a look at the game like that. They may have dabbled in the first 2 seasons, but season 3 and beyond, that was it. That was done. They were ghost. They just didn't like they just didn't play the game as much as they did when 4 was out, when Ultra was out. And again, everybody has their own takes and opinions of it, but from what Bates said, that's pretty much my exact same reaction. SirRetro, what you got?
Oh, can I before you go, Retro,
No,
I
that's
want to
fine.
make one more
That's
statement.
fine.
My bad, brother. I want to make one more statement.
You're good, bro.
This is the easiest way to tell if a game is garbage or not. When you're playing that game and you get done playing it, you sit down and you have to talk to a random person off the street, maybe a coworker, maybe a family member. If you can look at them in the face and say, "Hey, man, I think you should spend $60 on this game and play it with me," and not feel bad about it, it might be a good game. But if you have to hesitate and be like, "Man, should I tell him to buy this shit? Because if he spends $60 and he get on that bitch and his character keeps running to the corner and he can't stop, I think he's not gonna play that shit no more." Then it's probably a bad game, bro. And I'll leave it at that.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Retro, talk to me.
So, like I said, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Overall, I'll give the game is below average. I still say that. Yes, so there are good high points about the game as far as like up to now. But I say for the majority of it, no. The game was not a good taste. It wasn't. It's not good because I'm not. I speak mainly for myself. I speak for everyone. I like to speak for everyone, but I will speak for myself. And of course, it's like I do observe everything, like how other people view about it, because mainly the system, how it rewards. Well, it's just an offensive based system. But ironic enough, sorry, I moved the mic. Ironic enough, I play a character who benefits that system, and y'all guys already know who it is, and that's G. One, he has a system. Part of the system, the V trigger, is robbery. Yeah, and a lot of people say that some V triggers are robberies like that, mechanics robbery. I play G. Like if he gets the offense going, which the game truly benefits more of than the defense, which I don't like. But regardless, play the character. Like, I play the character because it's fun. But when I found out about how the mechanics of the game was like so rewarding to him because like the offense concept behind it, it was like it doesn't feel. Part of me doesn't. It feel like it's fun. Yeah, he's a little more bouncy. He may be nerfed a little bit, but overall, you have. Of course, there's Luke. There's no. Like and overall, there's characters and mechanics that has a great offense system, and it really truly benefits that more than defenses. If you jump in at me and I uppercut you, oh cool, I knock you back and that's it. I have to chase after you to try to continue the offense or pressure, but you have time to recover or do whatever else. Or in the sense, but in the sense that I defended myself, but you try to take the offense, but you have a chance to try to do it again or whatever. But if you jump in on me and you got enough resources, that's pretty much 50 to 60% of my health. Maybe in this case, maybe 70, whatever, depending on the character and the meter, whatever. It felt unbalanced because they nerfed the V reversal at a point. They nerfed, the DP situation at a point, and they haven't changed it around. They, nerf where like the V shift it can work, but you can tell in many cases that now can be baited. You can say, all right, and do a light attack, recover before the V shift animation happens. So you try to cancel into something, I can punish you for that, or V reversal, obviously. Is really where it's not rewarding. It's very one-sided. So personally, I didn't like the idea, and I can see the woe of it. Even though I use a character that benefits from that because he's an offense monster. Yeah, and defense-wise, he sucks. Like, horrible defense. I know it's like. So in this case, no. Overall, to this day, I still, now that I still give it okay-ish, but overall, I don't feel it being as fun like it should have been. If it came out as it is now, before, I might have say, what? Okay, it's a fun game, but still, I think just the way the system is designed, I still don't like it. Looking at where Street Fighter 6 is heading towards, I have hopes for it because I think they found a way to incorporate, the past stuff, but build it in a system where you get rewards or certain costs using your balance of the defense and offense, which I like. If you parry, it don't cost that much. If you do the focus attack, maybe or whatever, it may cost not too much. If you EX, yeah, it costs you a bit, which is the more offense stuff. So it's that balance I think they're working towards. I think having the right people this time, because I think there's a lot of behind the scenes development that really affected, obviously. And of course, I may not know the people in particular behind the scenes, but I think that's as far as their input or how they want to put the game in. Because initially the idea was they didn't like how Street Fighter 4 was because at a point newcomers couldn't really get into the game and they felt they were left out. So let's make this new Street Fighter or Street Fighter 5 per se, or to be exact, the ground level where everyone can get into. It can work, but the problem is that ultimately it's up to that player wanting to learn to become better. Because what's going to happen either way, those top players or the players that are going to be consistently learning the system, practicing all that stuff, they're going to become the best players or really good players no matter what. And those players that try to learn the game become newcomers and try to be more casual about it, but hoping to be good as Daigo, they're still not going to become great. And that's something that is more to the player as much more to the player than I say the game is play system. Street Fighter 5 tried to be that where it's trying to say, hey, guess what? You can be as good a Daigo with it combos and this and this. Let's make it easy for you to do that. But you're still going to lose to the actual Daigo. You're still going to lose to the actual Bonchan, the Punk, the Hollywood Rob TV, the ShadowAce, the BigBates, the Painbot. Because they want to learn more how the system actually functions, and they're going to take advantage of that. If you're going to say, yeah, I just want to press buttons and that's it. As a person, too, I actually sold this. Yes, that's okay. I worked at Best Buy, and I sold many games at the time when it came out. As I bought this game, and I remember the returns of this game to me because people were like, this game don't have nothing at all. Initially, yeah. The game didn't have anything.
Wait, it ain't nothing to
You
do,
can't
bro.
do nothing.
Right.
It ain't nothing to do. You get hit,
Right.
wake up, grab
Shut
this
the do in
again
the
and
game.
lose, and then you gotta go back and do it again.
Right. The thing is that I got people that came to me and said, Kirk, like, bro, I ain't playing Street Fighter. This was me trying to be optimistic too. This is the sad part. And plus walking around retail too. You know, retail life, man. But the thing is, the customers like this. What this game had, like, there's no arcade mode. There's this, not this, and this. You know, and I'm like, well, I hope they're gonna add some more stuff to it. You know, that's me trying to like fight it. It was hard to fight to defend Street Fighter Five. It was like, and as a retail person, you had to kind of like sell that product so people can hope to buy it. But also at the same time, as a FGC person, when I started getting involved in it, I was like, yeah, try Street Fighter 5, blah, blah, blah. You know, you could not really budge people to to pick the game up or anything at that point. Once the return happened, they never want to hear about it again. And then, of course, shortly after Arcade Edition, you know, the features came out, like, oh, they got new V skill, new V trigger, blah blah. Like, okay, they got some more stuff. You know, that little arcade mode, that little more things going on. To me, even till now, it still don't feel as complete. It should it should have been a lot more for it.
All of that should have been there since the beginning. Basically, right. It's just I'm glad that they did the model with doing like a free trial period for the game. Like, you know, you could try this amount of characters or something. And they even offered it was actually one of the games you can get for free. So if you downloaded it then, you was able to get the game for free. But again, the damage within the first few years has already been done.
Right.
Already left the sour taste in a lot of players' mouths, and people have already moved on to something else since then.
Yeah, because also the idea was they executed badly on the concept of, because technically you could get like at least the first few seasons of characters without having to pay anything. But guess what you have to do? You have to essentially, if you do it online, you have to win 200 or 2,000 or something like that matches, because you get like a small amount of fight money for every time you win a match. You have to essentially win like hundreds and hundreds of matches just to unlock a character in the fight money sense. I tried doing that. I managed to unlock maybe Alex and maybe Guile with that, and that was it. But it took so long, and it was frustrating. I mean, like I said, I'm not gonna sugarcoat it, because I didn't really express how I feel about Street Fighter 5. I enjoy it. I like playing this now, but I kept my mouth shut because I knew that I won't get ran over if I try to mention about the game, because I knew that a lot of people hated the game. And before I even opened my mouth, a lot of people would come to me like, this game is shit. Why does the game don't have no content? Why does the game have this and this? I research a lot of videos and everything. So that's for me. I research a lot of things, and then I do test out a lot of things about myself before I bring it up to how I feel about it. Of course, at this point, I'm confident to say that, Street Fighter 5 is not a great game. And in addition, once Street Fighter 6 come out, it's going to be the saddest thing, because I believe that Street Fighter 5 will be one of the only few games that is not going to get played back for a retro tournament. Street Fighter 4, yes. Street Fighter 3, yes. Super Turbo, yes. Hell, even Street Fighter 1 for the fun of it. But Street Fighter 5?
For the fuck of it.
Yeah, I'm about to say, for the fuck of it, yeah.
Because
Street Fighter 1.
Because
oh shit, we got a cab already.
But no, here's the thing. Because you know why? Because you know why? Ironically, Street Fighter 1 is the most balanced game in the series. Because even though yes, you play the same character, but that's the constant still stands. But when it comes to something like Street Fighter 5 or whatever, and everyone I know, and we have all the interviews, all these previous episodes of the podcast series, a lot of people have their bad taste about Street Fighter 5, and we actually had talked about, hey, when we have a retro tournament, yo, who plays Street Fighter 5? Nah, bro, I'm good. No, I don't like the days of Luke. That V trigger 1 is robbery. Oh yeah, Guile has this, or Gil wasn't this, or this and this. Oh yeah, the boxer is this and this. He's a bully, this and this, or the V reversal is stupid. You pretty much it may get some numbers. It's gonna be a faithful few. You know, for me, when I go back to Street Fighter Five, if G or any character that's not like G is or that like G is not in Street Fighter Six, maybe. G was the reason I really like Street Fighter Five more than anything because because he had character, he had fun features and everything. Yeah, Abigail. I see Abigail, but the Abigail era when he was out, god damn, that was crazy.
That's when I quit.
But
And Balrog was fucking strong as fuck in there.
Yeah, right.
But
Boxer.
it's just like
You had Boxer. You had Urian. You had the Mana. You had I understood why. Right. I understood that you had development of characters for DLC to come out and really strong because we want people to buy them. But then when Abigail came out, god damn, cool kid, Itabashi Zangief, like all those Zangief characters said, you know what? Those Zangief players, they said, let me just forget Zangief. Let me go to Abigail. Because the thing is, like, I could, like, man, dude, I'm saying a lot in this one because I'm like, this is what I really observe from people saying and so forth. I may always seem to conform, but I test out some things myself, what they say about how the game is, and I was definitely saying, Street Fighter Five, I wish it could have been better. I wish it could have came out as it is now, many years ago. Because, but still, I still think the same thing should have been fixed, especially with the offense and defense balance. I mean, yes, once again, I play G. Because I go crazy on offense. I like to rush down, get in your face. I like to press buttons, and I don't care if I'm minus. If I'm minus 14 or minus 7 or minus whatever. I just like to press buttons and command grab you. It's 12 frames. Jump. Do something. Yeah. But that's the thing. I enjoy that character. That's the main reason I enjoyed the game more. And also part of the lore. But that's the thing. Other than that, the features for Street Fighter 5, it's I'm glad where the people that's involved now, they are definitely helping. They're trying to say, look, we fucked up. We had some wrong people that was trying to hold us back. We're not trying to push forward. So I'm hopeful for Street Fighter 6, obviously, but I'm glad that Street Fighter 5 is a little bit better. I wish it could have been better years before. That's all.
Yo, my man Retro was preaching to the choir. Yo, that's what's up, man. That's what's up. And now, Painbot, I see you've been lurking. I see that the water is boiling in the pot. The floor is yours, man. The floor is yours.
I mean, y'all pretty much said everything, right?
Did we?
Yeah,
I don't know. There may be something we missed. I don't know.
I wasn't trying to out Painbot. It's just that I felt a certain way. I just had to let it all out.
I played that game essentially. That's the only Street Fighter game I think where when I talk to complete strangers about fighting games, they're like, "That game was garbage." That's the game. That's the only game they think of with fighting games, and they'll just specifically point that one out. I don't think I've ever seen anyone complain about any other fighting game other than that one. They'll say they hate to lose, or they don't like spamming. Typical I'm a normal guy shit. But like, I've never heard them ever say any other game specifically is trash except for 5, and it's just because on like with the way Bates said it's like it's like factual level that like it's just trash because Bates didn't even touch everything. Like that's how trash,
I didn't
that's
talk
how trash
about
it was. That's how trash it is. He like scratched the surface, like how trash it was. But there's a couple things that stand out to me when it comes to like the game release that Bates missed.
Mm-hmm.
One is this is funny because like these are just things you would only know if you were around. This is how I know people that fucking say 5 is good. They weren't around the whole time because they couldn't be. But when the game came out, I think for like almost damn near 2-3 months, the game would just disconnect. Just
How about-
cause.
Oh
Just
my
bye-bye.
gosh.
Bye-bye.
Oh my gosh.
Just cause. Just cause.
No.
Man, let me tell you about the story of me, Bates, trying to unlock all the fucking
Please
colors in the
do.
first like
Please
week.
tell. Please tell.
So as you guys may know, the guys who actually play 5 and know it's trash, not the guys that pretend it's good and just fucking lie. The guy when you had to unlock when you have to unlock the colors
Oh my
in the 5 originally, there was no option to buy the colors.
god damn. I remember that.
You had to play survival mode.
Mm-hmm.
What, remember that, Bates? You had to play fucking survival mode.
Oh, do you remember the heartache? Yo, I'll never forget level 27 in Bison. I'll never forget level
Wow, that
27
dude
in
is fucking
Bison.
crazy.
And
That
there was no
character
rematch.
is
And there
nutty.
was no rematch option too.
Yeah,
No, you couldn't.
you
Oh,
lost.
yes. The thumbs up.
No,
No,
not
I'm talking
that.
about
No,
survival
we're talking
mode.
about versus that CPU.
Yeah. Okay,
We're
I'm
talking
sorry.
about survival mode. If you want colors, you have to beat level 27 in Bison. And level 27 in Bison don't give a fuck about anything you got to do or say. He gonna read your inputs, and that EX fucking EX stomp is coming out,
I
and it
remember
don't
that.
matter.
It
don't
will.
matter.
It
9
was
and 10, you gotta
straight
beat
up.
like extreme mode. You gotta had to beat extreme mode. Now it's like 50 levels with just survival mode. You lost. If you lost, that was it. You had to restart
Start
all
over
over
again.
Restart
I
all
remember.
So,
Oh my
unfortunately, there
God.
was you get to a point where the characters just start reading your input. I mean, legit, you
I
could walk
remember
up with. I was playing Armika at the time. I would just walk up, do nothing. They would just stand still. I'd do command throw the jump like immediately. And I was like, all right, so this is what we're dealing with. I was trying to find a way to cheese it. I think I found a way to cheese it with Geef. But unfortunately, it's not like I think Street Fighter 4, you get to unlock a whole series of colors, the original 4.
Mm.
I think if you win with Geef, you only unlock colors for Geef.
Mm.
So it's not like 4 where I think you could unlock it with an entire set of colors for everybody with one character, if I remember correctly.
Mm-mm.
And so you had to do it. And then I remember the one time me and Bates broke was we were playing. I think we were like on number 67 or some shit. We were like, I think we had to get to 70. We had to get to 70 for the second set or some shit. And I was like, hype. I was like, we're gonna do it, Bates.
Yeah, they kicked us off the game.
They kicked us off the server. Even though we're playing offline, it disconnected and then started us over again.
Yo.
And we just never went to get the colors ever again.
No, we said fuck that noise.
We said fuck this. This
was
is
it.
stupid.
And I didn't even remember that pay. That's crazy. I remember.
I left the mental scar.
Yeah.
Oh, how do you get disconnected offline? That's
Yeah, when I got disconnected offline, I lost my shit. I was like, all right, so we get disconnected offline now. This game is garbage.
Yeah.
And so that was a problem. The game was literally dropping every day for like 3 months, like constantly for no reason. Well, I mean, there's obviously a reason. Their shit sucks, but like for us, we're sitting there like, what the fuck is happening? And that was a big problem for me specific. I only played for 4 months. Like I literally only played that game for 4 months. Seriously, I started when the game during the beta, and then I quit in June when Southeast Battles 2016 happened. I got fourth, which is pretty good. And then I fucking I quit. That was it. I had enough. And that shit was that shit was so bad. But the fucking first I just remember the servers kicking me off all the time. I remember the net play being really, really shitty.
Mm-hmm.
I played rank just long, and I played rank. I bulldozed straight to plat, and then I just stopped. And then what was the other thing that was happening? That because y'all mentioned, I'm trying to mention things y'all haven't said, but servers kicking off randomly. I think there was lobbies, not at first, but after a week they added them.
shitty
But-
matchmaking. That was
Yeah,
another one.
Yeah.
No, the lobbies they added, if y'all don't remember, only were 1v1 lobbies for a while.
Mhm.
I don't know if y'all remember that. It was literally
Yeah, I
you
remember.
couldn't have a line. It was just that. And then I remember these wars coming out of my mouth to Bates because we lived together, right? So I just look over at Bates like, hey Bates, doesn't Street Fighter 4 have lobbies where you have more than 2 people in it? Like how does this happen?
Mm.
Like how did we get lobbies that are worse than 4 now, 6 years later? And that was a thing. It was also bad. There was no story mode. I don't remember actually any combo trials. If I remember correctly, there was
They had them, but they were like real brief, and then they expanded on them in Champion Edition, and they actually have like seasons.
Well, I know I'm talking about in the first version, like in the first month. I don't remember if they were in the.
They didn't have
No.
trials.
There were no trials in the first month. No.
Yeah, they weren't a part of the game. So, by the way, guys are listening. I don't know how many people are listening, but
13.
you guys in the Discord, I guess, if you guys are listening, within I don't know about you guys, but for me, it takes me 2 hours to return a game if it's bad, right? So, you think a month's a little too long, right, for your game to have shit. And unfortunately, at that point, people will already have written the game off and start talking shit, and then that's their memory of the game, is that this game sucks, it has nothing, it doesn't work, it kicks me off when I'm trying to play computers for some reason. Even if I want to be a casual guy and just play computers all day, I can't do it because it might just kick me off. And it doesn't work. Like, it does not work. I tried to play online, it kicks me off. There's no lobbies for some reason. I could only sit in training mode and queue. That's literally the game. Is just, and that's what the beta was. And so we essentially got that. But that's essentially the game in a nutshell and its legacy for most 95% of humanity. Not the people that fucking was crazy enough to stand around and pay $200 for a shitty game and keep feeding the beast. It'll get better. For $30 season pass. It'll get better. $30 season pass. It'll get better. $30. See, I told you Street Fighter 5 is a good game. Like fucking 5 years later. like $90, like fucking $120 of DLC later. See, I told you.
I told you it was eventually gonna get good. You just got to wait. You
just gotta spend $180 on it, and let it sit. You gotta let it simmer a little bit. It wasn't out of the oven yet. Yeah, man, but Street Fighter 6 is like 4 months from now. But that shit, that shit was bad. But for my perspective, when it comes to like why I didn't like the game, obviously my biggest issue is mostly with the gameplay. The game itself is factually trash. Like when it was launched, it's facts. That game was garbage. 4 came out, that shit worked. I was able to do everything I wanted in 4. Everything worked. The net play sucked, but all games net play sucked back then. So it is what it is. But the lobbies worked. I never had no glitches. I never had nothing happen. I never got kicked out of playing fucking story mode. There was a story mode. Everybody had their own individual cutscenes. I was hyped. There was all kinds of cool shit in that game.
Right.
And there was like even their own little break the car shit. Like I don't think they had break the barrels in the first version. I think that was a Super Street Fighter 4 edition. But
yeah, that was a super. They added a special.
Yeah, they added that shit. I think the first one had car, and the second one had super. The second one had the barrels. But that the first version of 4 was a fully functional game, and it had Flow Rider singing fucking Indestructible. So like,
Indestructible. That shit was fire. But Painbot, real quick though, can you touch on character traits, right? Like a lot of people like.
I was about to get that.
Oh, okay, go ahead, man.
I was
Keep
about to
cooking,
talk about the gameplay.
I'm just handing you the knife, man. Keep cooking. Go ahead.
Keep cooking with the knife.
Yeah, I'm handing.
Not even a spatula. He wants me to
the knife. Keep cooking, bro. Chop them vegetables up. Here you go, man. I got you.
So essentially, my problem with 5, I'm so used to fighting games being trash. So like, obviously 5 being really trash, factually, it was not going to dissuade me automatically because we know as the fighting game community we are poverty and most of our games are not fucking fully functional most of the time anyway. But I didn't expect that from Capcom because 4 came out perfectly working and every version of 4 was perfectly fine. You know what? Let's just have a fucking lore. Let's talk about some lore for people that haven't played 5 games longer than 5. So in 4 came out fully functioning, by the way. That game came out fully functioning, came with extra characters in it, and it was a decent roster, and it was not balanced. Sagat was fucking OP. Vega was trash. And outside of those two, those were the number 1 defenders. Vega was super trash, and Sagat was super fucking ridiculous. But that game was fully functional, and outside of balance, then there was really very little complaints. The game was not, obviously it's not balanced. It's the first version of the game, but I think they did a pretty good job with that game, because honestly, we just didn't know stuff at the time, but honestly, Cammy and Fei Long probably were even better than those characters, because Cammy back then could instant cannon strike, and no one was really doing that. And then Fei Long was super cheap, and no one had known just how cheap it was.
Seth was cheap too, man.
Seth was super cheap. So like the meme that Sagat is like super top tier. He was just a super top tier character because he's the easiest.
He's like
so
fresh
easy
out the box.
Yeah, like just fresh out the box, fucking Tiger Uppercut, FADC Ultra. You win. Really, you could legit win the Tiger Uppercut, forward roundhouse Ultra, and you could do like 650 damage, which is a lot. And most characters were not. Most characters did a lot of damage too. Rufus could do like 450 with the roundhouse in the air into EX Snake Strike, which that was crazy. But Sagat out the box was super strong. The other characters weren't fleshed out. Like Sea Viper is really hard. She was probably super good. Fucking Cammy was not really hard either, but no one will play her because I guess no one liked her. And fucking I don't know why no one played Cammy really. She's super cheap. She's really super cheap. I don't know why no one would play her back then. So there were some people that played her, but no one noticed. People were like,
Kelly played her for a little bit, but that's it.
Yeah, that's it. And then I think the real reason no one played Cammy is because Rufus was so much easier to do the same thing almost. But Fei Long was cheap. Rose is pretty fucking good. I don't think again right at the tail end of 4, I found out how to loop like hands like 6-7 times in a combo, and then they nerfed it right before the new one came out because that shit was like if he hadn't done that, he would have been ridiculous in 4 and Super. But because he found that out at the very end, they nerfed it. But they found out Gang could do. Let's say the game wasn't very fleshed out. I think maybe the worst characters were probably El Fuerte and fucking Vega, maybe. Unfortunately, El Fuerte just didn't have shit in that game. He eventually had everything. But he was super trash and
poor Ace. Was anybody doing Run Stop Fierce though in that time?
Yeah,
that was unnecessary.
It was in the trial.
That was unnecessary.
What you mean that was unnecessary?
How you go shoot a stray over here? I'm just chilling. God dang. I mean,
that game was not balanced at all. But maybe it was more balanced than we think. But we just didn't give it time. But it's fine because that game worked, and we got Super Street Fighter 4, which was an amazing addition. They gave us like 20 more fucking characters and better balance. So that game was great. The reason why I'm bringing this up is because Street Fighter 4 was a really good game, and the Super Street Fighter 4 was an even better game with even more characters, and it was pretty much universally loved. Obviously, Guy, Makoto, and Dudley were not that good, and they fixed that later.
Yeah.
But for the most part, the game was pretty balanced. Chun-Li was fucking oppressive, and there's a bunch of oppressive characters, but that's like any game, right? Like any game, you're gonna have like those outliers. But it wasn't bad. The game wasn't bad. That you couldn't look at Super Street Fighter 4 and be like, this game is just fucking broken bullshit. It was just that these characters are good, these characters are bad. This is what the game favors. And that game was really good. Super Street Fighter 4 was like probably the best, like number 2 to anything ever.
Yeah,
damn near. Like in period. Even to this day, I don't think there's been a single like game that like, hey, this is the next level, and then like the game is like great. Like Champion Edition, they got shit on Super Street Fighter 4 because the fucking Super Street Fighter 4 brought like 20 characters, and then it gave you all the costumes for free in the first version.
Yeah,
and it was $40. It was $40. That's a steal. It's $40, man, for 20 characters. That's a fucking steal.
If you want to stage a couple generic ass colors and what else they come out with in Street Fighter 5? That's like $20, right?
No,
the stage itself was like $15.
Yeah, the stage is like for the stage,
man,
bro. Come on, man. And it's just the same format except a bunch of random shit in the background. Like come on, man.
That Super was great. Now, here's the reason why I'm pretending this talk about 5 is because this is where the fall of Capcom begins. So, Capcom at this point was killing it with Super and Vanilla. Like both versions were really good, and then all they did was fuck up from here on out. And so, Marvel vs. Capcom 3 came out, and it didn't have no fucking replay or spectator lobby for some reason. That shit was crazy, and it also had like the worst net play known to man. And that shit was really bad. And then they sold us 2 DLC characters. And then they sold us another version of the game within 6 months. So that was pretty fucking shitty practices they did. Then they made Street Fighter Cross Tekken. And they walked half the characters away from us.
Man.
And then they try to sell us the same characters. So that was shitty that they did. And the rollback didn't fucking work worth a damn. That shit happened. And then fucking, I mean, Capcom was fucking up on everything. That shitty Devil May Cry game came out. Ashura's Wrath, which is a $60 DVD, came out. Fucking Resident
It was a good movie though, bro.
whatever, man. I bought that game. I was disappointed. Fucking Resident Evil 5 was super mid. And then Resident Evil 6 and Raccoon City were garbage.
Hold on,
then
Beautiful
fucking,
Joe
like-
was godlike though. Hold on, bro.
Well, they didn't release Beautiful Joe, a new
they
one
did?
at that time. No, that was way before that.
Yeah, way.
Before
Yeah,
then.
way.
Oh, before then.
Yeah, Beautiful
before the
Joe
arcs.
was yeah. That was like
I'm
a
talking about
Capcom
this
over
5-year era of Capcom doing nothing but garbage.
'Cause it's like-
Luckily, they made Monster Hunter 3. That shit was gross. But obviously,
Yeah.
that guy never fuck up.
'Cause I think that led to like almost like financial crisis for them, right? At that time.
Yeah, that's literally when they were like, we're gonna go bankrupt, guys, so we keep fucking up.
Yep.
And so Monster Hunter pulled them out. Like, no lie. Monster Hunter pulled them out of the fucking ditch. Like 3 times. I'm not even joking. 3 times.
Oh, no,
'Cause Monster Hunter 3
I believe you.
came out, killed it. Devil May Cry took all their money. Fucking Monster Hunter fucking 4 came out, killed it. And then fucking like, because Resident Evil was hot dog shit for like ever too. So that like 4 was the quintessential one of the best games of all time. And then 5 was super mid.
Yeah.
And then 6 was fucking like dog shit. Raccoon City was dog shit on top of that. I'll never forget 6.
Damn, I remember
Because
that.
it looks like 6 looks like a fucking giraffe getting sucked off by a dude. The symbol. You remember that shit? The number 6. That shit looked crazy. That shit, that fucking, even that fucking like display was garbage. But that era of Capcom was really bad. They were trying to like westernize their games in a way, and it just didn't pay off.
Yeah.
And
Number 9 too, but it wasn't the Capcom. But the thing is, the guy left Capcom. Could you like it was a whole thing. That era.
yeah, but that's unrelated. He laughed and fucked up on his own.
Yep.
But the Capcom fucked up. Well, Capcom also canceled Mega Man, the Mega Man Legends collection or some shit.
The online, the
Legend
all.
3.
Yeah, 3. So they also pissed off everyone who's a Mega Man fan. So Capcom was literally fucking up like crazy. So knowing all this and you thinking 5 is good, let's get to 5. So 5 is during this time period of them literally making bad decisions. So you're gonna tell me this game that is supposedly the best version is gonna be the fucking game that like they just happened to make this gross game during this time period where all the other games are trash? Nah, that game came out barely working, barely. I'm talking about barely.
That shit limped off the assembly line, bro. That shit limped off that motherfucker.
That shit
Crutches and
barely working. That shit came out barely working, man. And then they had to. Luckily, Capcom didn't just die right there because Monster
Man.
Hunter 4, I think 4U, sold really, really well. And so they, again, using Monster Hunter as a crutch, arose from the ashes thanks to Monster Hunter after the like 7th bad decision. By the way, Tekken, Street Fighter Cross Tekken, trash. Marvel's Capcom 3 really trash bad when it comes to like their financial decisions. Like when I say their decision making, I'm talking about that, not the gameplay. Marvel's Capcom 3 really shitty dumb decisions. Fucking Street Fighter Cross Tekken really really dumb decisions. And then Ultra Street Fighter 4 and Arcade Edition, the stupidest shit they could have ever done. The stupidest shit they could have ever done. Arcade Edition, garbage.
Elaborate.
Arcade. Okay, so just so you know, the guy who made your precious good ass game 5 players, that dude looked at the gem he made. That gem he made, that is Street Fighter 4, that was successful. He said, "I'm gonna fuck it up." He literally said that shit on purpose. He said that shit. He said, "I'm gonna fuck it up," because he deliberately made the game hella unbalanced on purpose. And it was in an interview. He admitted to it. He did that. Arcade Edition almost killed 4. I quit Street Fighter 4. That's how bad that shit was. I quit. I'm a Monster Hunter player now. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Like, I'm not playing fucking Street Fighter 4. I was ready to become a Skullgirls player. Like I was just anything but that shit. Arcade Edition, guys, if you guys don't know, that shit is they put Yun and Yang in that game. And those 2 characters, they made them intentionally the most overpowered characters in the game. It's so overpowered that Daigo, who had played only Ryu for the entire lifespan of Street Fighter 4, quit Ryu and moved to fucking
I remember
Yu.
that era. Dude. I remember that era so much. The Kazunoko as well. All that, shoot.
Yeah, Young was like a meme back then.
God,
Yeah.
He was
it was
pretty
like
mean.
Third Strike all over
Yoon
again.
was like, how could they do this to us? Like, everyone was like that. And then they also released 2 characters that are relevant. Evil Ryu and Oni. They were super underpowered during that time. I don't know why the other guys were so ridiculous and those 2 were trash, but those 2 were really bad during that time. But then they patched the game to 2012 because after everyone told them they're fucking morons, which is the correct reaction. I think it's the correct response. This is before Twitter, by the way, I think. So, like, they heard this shit in the
be in
mail.
person. That shit was in person.
Yeah, someone wanted to, told me stupid, or they mailed them their anger because this is before social media was big. And they released 2012, and that shit was probably the best version of Street Fighter 4, probably. Just about. It was very, very, very balanced. A lot of the characters are very fun. Not every character is like top tier, obviously, because that's just the nature of fighting games. But the game was incredibly balanced, and the mechanics were pretty good. There was an emerging gameplay with the unblockables, but I think we would have found something to beat that. We always end up finding a way out of everything in that game. It seemed like the case was like an arms race, like. The game was not like built to be played a specific way. So because of that, people had to be really creative and come up with their own solutions to how to beat everything, which is why.
Wait, did you just say Street Fighter 4 had creativity and personality?
Yeah, you couldn't be the same person.
Yourself? What?
Everyone had their own setups. I could tell Tokido's and fucking Infiltration's Akuma apart from a mile away. Like, they're 2 completely different players. I can't tell a single fucking Akuma apart or Yuri, and they all wake up jab into V trigger. Like, I can't fucking tell the difference. But fucking in 4, you could really tell how they're neutral, what their goals were in neutral, if they really wanted to like push Oki or they just wanted to win neutral. Like, every character was so different from, like, for the most part. There were some characters that just are weaker versions of others because there's like 40 fucking characters. So, obviously DJ is just weak as fuck, and Guile's just gonna outdo him. But like, for the most part, all the characters were incredibly unique, and they had their own play styles, and the people that played them were incredibly unique players. And there was the best part is that when you looked at the screen, you could tell who was playing, even if you covered the names up. Because I could see Evil Ryu, see the fucking combo. I'm like, that's gotta be Daigo or Sako. There's no way. Like, no one else is doing that shit. Dog, you could cover the fucking screen of Street Fighter 5, and I don't even know if it's a fucking local or if it's like Capcom Cup. I can't fucking tell.
It's a local or if it's Capcom Cup.
I can't tell, man. It's like, because when I look at 5, I'm like, all right, are we at the second half of the game? All right, V trigger. And then when the V trigger happens, if it's a really shitty setup, I'm like, okay, maybe this is a local, maybe. But if it's like, but even then, if I'm like watching like maybe some of our better players, if they're doing like they're really like fine, they're really like tuned setups that everyone uses that identically because they just work because you can't fight frames in that game, then it's just they look identical. Like, I can't see call-ins mix up between 2 different players because they can only do one mix up because there's only enough frames to do like 1 or 2 mix ups. So you can only have those options. You guys know who DB Joseph is? That dude had an Excel sheet of mix ups.
Oh, yeah, we talked about him a little bit like one episode a while back.
That's a local player that literally had an Excel sheet of mix ups I didn't know people could do elsewhere. Like, that's crazy. Just here alone. That game 4, it's an arms race. You come up with tech to fight the tech they use to try to kill you. So, like, even if like unblockables was like a thing, then I think eventually we'd have evolved some kind of defensive tech to like shrink hitboxes and like get out. Because we were realizing that if you whiffed buttons on wake up, it would beat most of these unblockables 95% of the time. But they kind of fixed that on its own with the delay tech, but not all the way because some characters can just do it anyway because they can just fucking go again. Fair. But anyway, Arcade Edition 2012 was pretty sick. I really have some of my best memories of like gameplay in 2012 because everyone was just kind of like so unique and like there's a lot of players that really had their own characters. They just owned the character. They just owned that shit. Like, that's like, hey, that's that dude. Only he can do this because he's the only one that can perform this because he worked hard. No one else can perform this shit because it takes a lot of practice to do this shit. I could fucking be a Urian guy in like literally less than 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Like for sure. I did it. I got the fucking like diamond rank with Urian with no setups. Just playing. And I fucking doing the setups takes maybe a week of practice for me specifically. Maybe just me.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously not everyone is like a seasoned player, but I cannot do the Thunder Knuckle cancels in a week. I'm just not gonna fucking lie to you. There's no way I could do that shit. Like, there's no way I could ever do Thunder Knuckle cancels in a week's time and perform it every single time. That's crazy. Like, there's no way that'll ever work. It didn't take me long to learn G shit. I was having a blast. I fucking picked up G in like 2 weeks. I was just killing it with fucking EX low. Did it hit? No? Okay, command throw or play. All right, I win. Okay, or EX low, it hit, I win. Like, you think I was having a blast. Like, that shit was fun as hell. It wasn't fun because the game is good. It was fun because I was just winning for cuz. Like, I was just winning just cuz.
I mean, as a G
but
player,
like, G's fucking fun, man. But it's only because if you have to be like a scumbag because like I love that shit because I'm robbing people deliberately. I'm like, I'm picking this character because I just want them to feel stupid because they try to play the game. Boom.
What a
degenerate. That's what's up. I'll mean to cut you off. I'm gonna let Painbot continue to cook, but I just want to dive into this other question, and then I'll let Painbot finish cooking Thanksgiving dinner. So this question was basically about FGC business models, like companies and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Recently, you guys know about what happened with 404 Esports, right?
Yep. Oh Jesus. Oh shit.
Yeah, here we go. Let's go. It's showtime. We got this fire today. All right. So we know that 404 Esports, they announced the owner of the venue, Greg, 404 Final Boss, announced that 404 Esports was closing its doors. He expressed his frustration with like people on how they treated the venue. He made numerous videos and tutorials on how to act like a decent human being in public when you're at at a venue or anywhere else. And honestly, it was embarrassing. Like every time he would make a new video about somebody like pissing on the floor, damaging furniture, breaking products and stuff, it just like it was just no respect for the business. And I think one of the main underlying factors was that people knew that somebody fucked something up, but they didn't even say anything. And they're the ones that were acting all chummy and friendly, saying, talking about how hyped the venue was, but meanwhile, your boy is out there fucking up the place, but you're not saying nothing about it. So it's like it's so much shady stuff going on with that. And I didn't even want to touch that. My only response to it when he made that initial point was damn. That was it. That's the only thing I could say. But for 4 years, that business had its doors open, allowed numerous people to come in and play and just to level up and stuff. So, it's just respecting the venue. And my main thing I want to try to do for a conversation is to try to get you guys thoughts on like FGC business, because we've had a lot in this state come and go. I mean, Yomi, emotions. God, I cannot think of that. Oh, gaming experience. I don't even know if their doors are still open. We've had a couple of Battle and Brew. I think they still open. I think they're still open. But I know we had a couple of different venues over the years, and I just want to just talk about the FGC business model on like what do people, what can people do, or what can they expect when they're trying to deal with the FGC.
I ain't talking about this.
Okay, I'll go.
I'll be right back. I'll say something about it. I'll be right back though.
All right, cool. I'll go. So FGC business model. The thing about the FGC business model is there is no FGC business model. That's a fucking myth. Anybody says there's an FGC business model is just doesn't know what the fuck they're talking about, because there's no way to consistently make money or be sustainable in the FGC as your main consumer base, right? First off, you have to look at it from like a business standpoint, right? I don't really like talking about business stuff, but if I had to put myself in the mindset of a business person, you need a model that can sustain, make a profit, and have longevity, right? Some people, they get in business, they want to build something and they want to sell it, right? They want to build it, show it works, They don't really want to keep doing the hard work. They just want to sell it, right? That's also a type of business model. But even in the FGC, that don't work because you have to look at your audience. Right now, what fuels a business from like Greg's kind of business, like 404's kind of business, is like player base, right? So Greg first started, he was a overall generalized video game like venue, right?
Mm.
Then he had multiple games for like different kind of games, like probably sports games or whatever. I don't know. I don't know what his inventory was, but I'm sure he had a large inventory of non-fighting games. Then he reached out, he did made connections, did his due diligence, and did his best to bring a market and bring a consumer base to his venue, which is not easy, by the way. That's hard. That takes a lot of work, effort, and time. So he had to be super committed to that, and it's his business. So, the thing about business is you expect to go into business and lose a profit the first year. So I'm sure he had to take all those expenses and take those L's at the start, and then he discovered the FGC. Problem with FGC, and there's no nice way to put this, is FGC essentially is like very. I don't want to say ungrateful because it's not like people haven't supported 404 or wanted to support it in any kind of way that they can. It's more like I don't think a lot of the FGC understands the magnitude and Herculean effort it takes to support them and or accommodate them, right? So if you're a business, you don't want to spend too much money on things and you want to make more profit as opposed to expenses, right? Very basic model. Well, in the FGC, we're so picky about the way we do things. We need certain equipment. We need to play this. Like the new Street Fighter 6 coming out. We're sitting here like, well, fuck PS4, fuck PS5. We wanted to be on Xbox. And I know all you TOs already have PS4s and PS5s, but we want y'all to do it on Xbox because purity or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But are they gonna go pay for those consoles? No, the TO has to pay for those consoles. And same thing, like property. Oh, we want this, we want that, or we want our venue to be like this, or we don't like this venue fee because of this, right? And what they're not considering is we know what you don't like or what you don't want. It's just what you want and what you like is never going to be conducive to making money or being profitable. So the reason I say the FGC has no business model is because there's no consumer base there to sustain any kind of business model. So what Greg did for 4 years, he has my utmost respect because I've seen, I've been in this scene for about going on 10 years now. I've seen multiple esports arenas, esports venues, gaming arenas, game views come and go. Some make it 6 months, some make it a year. I've never seen any of them make it 4 years, right? So that's a big testament to how much work Greg put into 404 and all that stuff. And he may not have done a lot of things that I like. Like there's a lot of things he did that I don't like, but I can respect his grind and how much work he put into it, right? And how much effort he put into it, and his activity, being active in the scene and being involved with the scene is pretty impressive. So I give him more than enough credit for that. But anybody else trying to get into the FGC to make money, you have to do it the right way. You have to be a part of the scene for a long time. You have to really get to know the people in the scene, and you have to basically pull resources from the scene and give resources to the scene in order to break even. That's just to break even. And you have to be deeply rooted in the scene. So if you're doing it for business, quite frankly, it's not a good business model. And I don't think Greg joined the FGC for business. I think it just kind of happened that way because we supported him for so long. But overall, I wouldn't recommend, and I don't think many people who run businesses or do business care to like have the FGC be its consumer base. So just shout outs to Greg 44 and everything he's done these past years, helping keeping the scene alive, giving our players and the community a place to play and a place to like gather. That was huge.
Definitely.
We've always said If you've been in Georgia, you already know we always need like a place to gather and be. I personally, when I first started, it used to be just emotions, Yomi, and we would just go to each other's house, right? We're just okay. I'm hosting at my house. Y'all come over. Make sure y'all bring some food.
Yeah.
And I kind of miss those days. I don't mind going back to those days because I thought that was like it made it more genuine, and it wasn't like you were more respectful. So the thing you're talking about earlier about breaking people's shit, if you're in somebody's house, I can hold you accountable for breaking my shit because I know you came in. So if you break my shit in my house, you're gonna pay for it. Not only that, I'm not inviting you back because I'm not here to make money off you. I'm here to play, not for you to come to my house and break shit. So, and not only that, your reputation is gonna get destroyed because we all know you was the one that broke the shit. You can't be anonymous. You can't piss on my floor and me not know who did it. You see what I'm saying? Like that don't make no sense. Like you gotta have some home training, at least to be like in my circle or like me consider inviting you to come over to my place. So, I really think it's just gonna be a changing of seasons where we play, where we meet up, where we decide to host, and where we decide to gather. It's just gonna change. It always happens. Somebody drops off and then somebody else comes up. So I'm not too much concerned with that. I really just want to stress that as a community, we just need to support each other and you know, be open to gathering. Because I used to do when Street Fighter Five first came out, I used to host sessions at Battle Brew, and I used to talk to the Battle Brew owner, and I say, "Hey, man, we just want to gather here and play. We just need a safe space, a localized place where we can gather and play." But the problem is, like I said earlier, when we did that for like months, like at least 6, 7 months. But FGC is not very. It's hard to accommodate for us because the lack of respect and the lack of I don't know how you say the lack of consideration for who's hosting us is always present because when we were running those things at Ballenbrew, people were not tipping, people were not buying drinks. It's like clearly the only reason they're allowing us to be here is because we're possible customers. So at least accommodate that, Because I would bring setups, other players would bring setups, and we would just set up in our space, and we would play Street Fighter Five, and then it became like a Marvel. Marvel players would come play, they would put their setups there. So it was nice having that, but once again, we always outstay our welcome. Nobody's being respectful. Nobody's buying stuff. So going forward, we really got to change that as a community. And I just want to reiterate, I appreciate what Greg did.
Definitely, man. Definitely. Yeah.
Go ahead, Retro. Sound like you had something to get off your chest, man.
So I had to get my little drink and stuff and use the restroom right quick. I'm back. No, but as actually, someone's coming. Actually, we just did a tournament yesterday with the city and Parks and Recreations and Swag Out Nerds, the esports team in our area, and of course hearing about the news. Now, this is where I pretty much was had my criticism before towards not just as a whole the FGC and esports and people who are trying to get involved. Okay. With that, considering what happened with 404, it really shows that, unfortunately, people in the FGC, we're okay. So I'm saying that FGC is a very volatile group. We are going there's a lot of people don't understand. We are going to change our behavior in many crazy ways that is really unhinged. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I'm not going to be like saying the FGC is the best thing. The FGC is one of the best things that happened to me. But at the same time, I want to say fuck the FGC because no, I'm dead ass serious because the way I hate about. I mean, of course, I'm one person. I can't change what happens to FGC. I can't make them all become sophisticated. But at times, me being a TO and being ahead of a group that some have feeling, you know what? I like this game. I like this thing. I like this venue. This venue is awesome. Trash this thing, or I want it my way, or I do whatever I want. I drink, or I leave stuff on the ground, or I like this stuff. Oh, this organization or this group trying to come in, try to do this and do that. Well, fuck y'all because y'all not y'all corporate thing trying to take on money. Y'all guys don't like the FGC. Y'all guys a business thing. Y'all just want profit. Blah 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 blah. Okay, we gonna deal with that. Right now, I'm in the middle of trying to bridge that gap between the business aspect with the corporation, esports, whatever, and the grassroots of the FGC. It's not easy. It may seem I would say it was near impossible to have those type of two parties. No, I'm
I agree.
dead ass.
I agree with you.
Saying that it's hard to bridge that
Speak
gap.
that shit. Talk that shit, Retro.
Okay, I'm not gonna be specific about it, but the cases in parallel to 404 esports, the people with the FGC will be going there and be the thing with 404, I would say, because I want to keep it on topic, is that Greg, that's his job. Currently that's his job. He making a living doing something, putting something together, was a venue, hosting games and stuff for people to come, to people to play, and all they're gonna do. And I want to tell the people, even my own game community, yes, y'all in the chat, Chris, Joshua, Big Boss DP, Blendman, whatever, even myself. Ultimately, as far as the TO, and yes, I said Big Boss DP's TO, of course, like that, but ultimately, what happens is that we set up these things, we put this thing together, half the time, as for the difference that we, as for the 404, I don't make money off it. This is not my living. This is not my actual job. My actual career. But the same concept, the sense is that we sacrifice, put money in, our own money in, to do a lot of the stuff, to set up a venue, to get everything together, to get sponsorships, to get the consoles, to get all the resources to come through. Because all you guys have to do is walk in those doors, give me your money, sit down, play the game, win or lose, get money or not get money, and leave. That is all you do. That is what I see on a daily basis. If you break that down, it's the very simplest thing you guys do. But somehow, in addition, it comes to, well, I want to see this game feature. Well, I want to see this monitor happen. Well, I want to see the PC over the PS4 because the concept of this, and this, and this, because my 144 gigahertz ain't shit is deployed to 484 gigahertz. Fuck that. Do you have the money for that? No. Did Greg try to have money to provide what you can? Yes. But the FGC be like, I want this, but then you're like, man, this is great, this is awesome, I want more of this. But at the same time, when it comes to certain behavior, as far as respecting the person who does this for you, it comes to you're going to the bathrooms, breaking shit. Literally, when there's warning signs, as much as y'all don't read on the damn start GG when the tournament starts. You guys sign up for the tournament and then ask the TOs or whatever when tournament starts. Y'all gotta see the sign on the bathroom that says out of order, and you go in and break into shit anyway.
Yo!
What the fuck? No. What the fuck? Because the thing is, y'all guys are acting childish. This is not what's supposed to be. Y'all guys are supposed to be FGC, and then you're supposed to be a community. Be a community with one. That's what it means.
One band, one sound.
Thank you. And that's the thing. But then you go in, you want this thing. I don't want to play against this player. Well, I want this. I want drinks in this venue. I want this. I want PC only because this is the best thing ever. Looking at the person, the tournament organizer, that is a human being. Look at Greg. That's a human being that's making a living. Especially him. His job is to provide a venue for you guys. For you guys to enjoy yourself and do so. All he asks of you to not spill drinks, to not break the bathroom, to not do all this stuff, to not try to rig the damn tournament in your favor. You're still gonna lose anyway because some top player gonna come out and beat your ass anyway. You're wasting your life and time demanding something that's not gonna work out in your favor in the end. So that's the thing. That's my problem. I'll go off on it. And like I said, to the Middle Georgia crew, I don't have issue with like that. Okay, you know what? No, there were times I took away Street Fighter specifically because there was at times Street Fighter players were like, "Well, I don't want to. I'm not going to come. This person will come. This was or not going to show up. This person show up, or blah blah blah, or whatever. Or why does games feature? Why does game feature? The thing is, ultimately, like Greg with 404, is trying to provide a space for people who want to come and play what they want to play. We might have intentions of as TOs and business owners or whatever to have something featured, whatever, but we understand that it may not always happen because the customer may demand something different. And we try to do our best to accommodate those demands. And sometimes it's not going to work out. And so the people cannot just get upset or get mad and do whatever they want and thinking that, they can just keep it going and just keep demanding all the stuff. Like, you're not respecting people who putting this stuff together for you, because without us, you will not have a community. Without us, you will not have anything to go to. And the thing is, it's personal for me because the FGC is one of the big reasons I am who I am nowadays. I would not consider myself as a leader in the community alongside with Greg, alongside with ShadowAce, or Marco, or BigBates, or Painbot, or whoever else that proceeded before me, especially in the Georgia FGC. And the thing is, it bothers me when I keep seeing stuff like what's happening for esports, and it's sad. Or where the fact also what FGC brought up in the very first episode of our podcast, talking about what happened to Coca-Cola gaming, when there was a big fallout and y'all cursed out and people cursed out Access Replay because and Coca-Cola gaming when they were trying to understand how we function. And it costs money. Thank you. Yeah, just gesture. All this stuff costs money. Do I look like I have $1,200 on me or 10 times $1,200 to buy a nice gaming PC with all the games to feature? And personally, I would love that to happen. I would love, in the ideal world, I would love to have a venue where you can have all the consoles you want to be featured there. All the games you want, all the frame data, all the fucking refresh rates of 480 or whatever goddamn much you want, the controllers that are modeled in your favor to actually happen, everything. Greg and I and many other TOs and around the whole world would love to have that venue, the whole arena, boxing arena like Mandela Bay or as much as Frosty Foster, all those big stuff. We love to have that happen for you guys to eventually. But you have to understand it takes your behavior to be sophisticated, to be better than what it's supposed to be. Y'all guys are not 2 years old. Y'all guys are not 5 or 7 or 9. Y'all not just going to run around and act childish and throw away your diapers and stuff with poop in it and act like we had to clean it up for y'all. No, we're not your children. We're not your parents. We're community leaders. But as a community, your job is to respect the leaders. If they don't as long as they're doing things right. If they're not doing things right, then you have to address it as so and try to do better. You always want to try to do better as a person. So thing is, when in regards to the behavior, that means not breaking the damn bathrooms. Literally, the fact that the man literally has a Twitter. If you look at 404 in bathrooms, you will see an entire list of videos, of pages. You can scroll down and you can print out 40 pages, I bet, at least, of the man explaining about how to use the bathroom. That shouldn't even exist. That shouldn't exist. Like, it's funny though, in a sense, but at the same time, it's sad. And it really shows, like, the end of the FGC that has to be worked on. Because if you're supposed to be a community, you have to be a community. If all the issues that we go through and have to deal with are, and the behaviors and all the call-outs that happened in 2020, especially, I'm talking about Reboot as well. Yes, Shadow, I'm talking about Reboot. I'm not talking about Reboot. I'm talking about 404, data, everything. Because I'm talking about FGC behaviors in general. Because what happened with 404 can happen to Reboot, can also happen to data, to happen to whatever other scene, custom concept, anything. This is the thing I'm looking at. I look at
embarrassing,
right?
So embarrassing.
Yeah, I look at these things. I know I may become Painbot for a moment, but I'm going off on it because this is the type of stuff that bothers me a lot. And I try to tell people in our scene, hey, look out, like if this was going on, we don't want to be like this. We can be better than this. You know, we're not trying to be the best FT. Like, oh yeah, we're the best behaved. We're better than everybody. No, it's like we're trying to become, as far as say, like we want to showcase that the FGC can be a well sophisticated, thing. So it have a structure. Yeah, yes, I know that is volatile. It's like I'm trying to put a net or some type of control over something that cannot be controlled.
Well, no, see, this is where a lot of people make the mistake.
Right.
It's not. You can't do all that stuff and then try to control everything else. You know, it's too much of a mental stack on you, and quite honestly, you'll eventually burn out if you try to control everybody's actions. And I had to learn that the hard way as well.
Yeah.
So really, the frustrations come from it's a culture thing. You have to build a culture of being respectful. You know, like if somebody new comes into the FGC, right? They're gonna bring whatever they come with. Okay. When they arrive, when they talk to the players, they're gonna see what kind of environment they're in. What the players do, they're gonna eventually start doing. What the players say, they're gonna eventually start. You're a product of your environment. So what we have to work on as a community is just being better at building a culture of, hey, if you have a console and you're going to a local, bring it. Bring that console, offer it to the TO. Even if the TO doesn't need it, just know that it meant a lot to that TO that you offered to let me use that console for the tournament. If you go to a venue and the venue is a restaurant of some sorts or a bar, buy something. Even if it's not a lot, you just buy some gum. I don't give a fuck. But just buy something. Just because that helps the TO go, hey, our guys are giving y'all profit. So this is a working relationship.
Right.
Same thing if you see somebody else fucking up, like, because here's the real problem with video game communities is they see other people doing real jank shit and they don't say anything. So if I see you being a creeper, or if I see you doing some weird shit, or you pissing on the floor, like if I watch you walk out and I walk in there and you done pissed all over the floor, it's incumbent on me to say, hey man, and this is hard. These are not easy things to do. Hey man, that was mad disrespectful.
No, that shit's pretty fucking easy. Let me tell you all a story real quick.
For some people, though, real quick, I'm gonna let Painbot talk, but real quick, for some people, that's hard, man, because they're I don't want to call them bitches, but they're very antisocial to begin with, and that's like a huge endeavor for them to like call people out. But yeah, go ahead, Mike.
So y'all may not know this, but once upon a time, I was a TO, and I did it for a long time. I think for like 4 years, and I think right around. Actually, I did a TO. I TO'd all the way till I quit Street Fighter 5, so you can just blame Street Fighter 5 for that shit too. And
that you talking about at the restaurant?
Yeah. See, even
that's where I met Painbot at. I met Painbot at his tournament in the restaurant.
So I did that shit for 4 years, and like y'all said, people just do stupid shit, and I remember one time. By the way, I mainly quit being a TO because of, I guess, 5, but also because of Smash, because I hate the Smash community, and they were the biggest offenders at the time for pissing me off. And one day someone showed up to my restaurant, my dad's restaurant, and they brought a fucking whole ass pizza in there. And I looked at the guy, I was like, is that a fucking Domino's pizza? And he's like, yeah. I'm like, get that shit out of here right now. I'm like, are you fucking stupid? And he's like, what do you mean? I was like, dude, you just brought outside food into a restaurant. What the fuck you think this shit is? You think this is a fucking cookout? You think you just fucking show up with whatever you want? And he gave me some grief about it and this, that, and the other. And eventually I was like, you can either get rid of the shit or you can just leave. Because you can't bring outside food or drinks in here. Because if I have to make an argument for y'all's reason to be there, the first thing's gonna go is do y'all spend money? So for you to bring food from bring a whole ass pizza from outside when you could have had a delicious torta is not only crazy, but fucking disrespectful as shit. So just get that shit out of there. Wow. And he threw it away, but he knew that he knew that if I was just gonna make him not play, so he had a choice. And unfortunately, I'm very open to confrontation, so I never really had this much problem when I was. I never had this much of a problem with the aspect of people breaking shit or bringing food in because I was pretty aggressive and like open about it. So I didn't really have it. It wasn't like a widespread thing. But I can see why some people that are venue owners may shy away from it because not everyone that's going to run the venue is going to want to be argue about every little fucking thing. They just want people to come in and spend money. But it sucks because what happens is that you get a lot of you get all kinds of people in because they're all trying to compete, and you get a mixed bag of people that know how to act and common sense, and people that are just fucking stupid, and you just have to like let them know they're dumb and keep moving. Obviously, that's the harsh way to put it, but these guys just really don't know, or they don't care, and if they don't care, I don't want them there. So that's how it goes. Now, should everyone do that? I don't know. I don't really care. So for me, if a guy hates me, it's whatever. But those guys that run a business, they may not want bad publicity, so they may not be open to just like so and so shoved a fucking whole roll of toilet paper into the toilet because his mom didn't beat him for some reason. Like all kinds of shit. Like there's no telling how bad that could end, right? So I can understand maybe like some venue owners not being as upfront with it and like shaming people, but to be honest, I'm in the camp of that guy should be on ice everywhere he goes as soon as he shoves a whole roll of toilet paper into the toilet. Period. That should be the signal, the bad signal to all the fucking.
He should be on ice.
Yeah. His stupid ass should be on the thinnest of fucking ice as soon as he shoves a whole roll of toilet paper into the fucking bathroom. As soon as that happens, the bat signal should go out. The fucking TOs should all the TOs in the area should see it and know that guy's a fucking dumbass and he may pull some shit. That way, when he's around, y'all watch him. And then if he fucking slips up, you kick him out because you already know he fucked up earlier, so you don't have to give him two chances. But the problem is, what you guys talking earlier is that some of these guys won't fucking tell on their friends.
Yep.
Fortunately for
They
me,
see they see it firsthand. They see it. They're like, "Yep, I know
Yeah.
who did it, but I'm not
Because
saying
there's
shit."
no way nobody saw that broken shit in
Didn't say
Retrocade
shit.
and didn't say anything. That's
it's about
crazy.
the company you keep, unfortunately, right? Like if you keep bad company, then you're gonna try to conceal that shit.
Like,
I don't keep bad company.
Bro, check this out. You can listen to somebody give somebody incorrect frame data, and 3 people are dogpile that motherfucker. Hey man, it's wrong. No, that shit is clearly +2. No, stop that shit. That shit's +2 on block. You lying. Let somebody fucking piss on the floor and then walk out. Shit, man. I'm gonna go over here, man. They're not gonna say nothing.
Yeah.
It's a culture thing. It's like a a lot of people are too scared to say something, and it's unfortunate. So we have to build that culture. It's like incumbent on us,
Right.
especially with the new games coming in. We're gonna get the Street Fighter 6 generation. We're gonna get that's gonna be the rise of the Gen Z. We're gonna get the Tekken 8 guys. We're gonna get the League of Legends guys who were League of Legends toxic League of Legends players that trying to bring that shit to the FGC, and they're gonna get clapped. We're gonna get those guys. We're gonna get a whole new slew of different, cultures and backgrounds and gaming personalities. So we have to have a culture in place. Hey man, don't come to this fucking tournament and act like this. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
We don't have all that money or that esports money over here. We have to respect each other. And quite honestly, I like it. Like being a small community. That's why I like Retro's tournament so much. It's such a homey, grassroots feeling tournament that I love going to that shit because it feels that way. Quite honestly, look, I'm an electrician, bro. I make my money.
Right.
I don't need to make money off this shit.
Mm-hmm.
So for the concept of esports to me is I don't give a fuck because that means I have to associate with people I don't like, and I don't want to do that. So I feel for you trying to bridge that gap because it's a hard gap. You have to go into a whole nother world. That's not my world. I have to go into the corporate world, and the corporate world is not nice. Okay, so it takes a lot of effort
to get people on that same page.
Mhm.
And it's just incumbent on us to really promote this culture of support, have etiquette, say something. If
Right.
somebody, and you're not snitching, by the way,
Mhm.
if somebody piss on the floor and walk out. Because if you want to keep company with a person like that, you're fucked up too.
Mhm.
I don't want to be around people like that, quite honestly.
Mhm.
I don't care how good you are at whatever game you're good at.
Mhm.
If that's how you're gonna be, then we don't need you out here. You can go be good at something else.
Right.
So
Um,
I'll just leave it at that.
yeah. But I'll say two things. One, the reason, the reason why our community for Reboot, it is what it is now. One, I said I had to get rid of people who, unfortunately, this January 6th incident that happened. Some people was involved in our community was involved with that. They're gone. Anything of any type of erratic behavior that I hear about, I will research and go to that person, or I'll tell the person, "You're done." I got rid of those people, and that's the type of thing I'm trying to work on now, because we're at the age and in the situation where that we might be potentially getting is now, because for our scene, stuff like the city is starting to get involved with what we're doing and looking into it, invest into it. And I want to try to have a chance. And there's a potential slight chance there's a good connection that could happen between the two parties of the grassroots FGC and the business corporation or esports, whatever. I want to make the best effort I can to make that happen, because who knows? We could build something more out of it, and it may be something that eventually the Georgia FGC as a whole could benefit from it. I want to try to help them bring that together. And that at times I have to deal with the bullshit that happens in the FGC, at least in my end, and cut out all the bullshit and let people know this is the type of stuff I'm not allowed in our community. And that's the thing that I have to working on. But at the same time, this is to tell the people who are trying to invest into this from the esports end, from the corporate end, about what was going on. This is what you have to deal with, unfortunately. And this is something that other party has to understand, because if they're looking to make a profit, if they're looking to say, hey, I'll put $10,000 in this and this and this and do this and that, whatever, get prepared to hear the players be like, Street Fighter 6 is the best game. You know what? After 2 months later, this game's shit. I ain't gonna play this game no more. Tekken 8, oh man, let's go. This game is shit. Man, fuck this. Oh, I don't care how robot netcode. The lobby sucks. Matchmaking's trash. I ain't playing this game no more. Or crossplay. Oh yeah. But it doesn't. It sucks in this and this and this. I'm done with this game. Or come to the venue and then come to our tournament. Let's go. Hey, we got food. We got vendors. We got cosplay party. We got this. No, that's cool. I just want to play the game. That's it. I'll leave. Spend $15. Nothing. It. Leave. Might win 100 for a tournament. Okay, so you want to buy some more stuff? Nah, we're good. I'm done. I ain't gonna buy your products. I'm done. That what happened. And I've seen that as literally I had within a month, last 2 months, I had 5 people that came to me and was like, hey, I want to do my own tournament series. I saw the success y'all guys are doing. I want to do my own thing. You know what I did? I said, okay. Do you know what you need to look for? Do you know what kind of stuff you're trying to do? Do you know how much it costs? Do you know what games you want to do? I challenged them. I challenged them what they wanted to do for the scene, the community, get involved with the community. They want, especially join the community, and they were like, yeah, no problem. No, I guarantee you, bro, 20 people gonna come out to this. People gonna buy t-shirts. In addition to that, these players, everybody plays Mortal Kombat 11. My cousin plays it. My this and this plays it. And this play this game. And then, they come out. No, the people are cool, man. Don't worry, man. I know that's gonna happen. All right, cool. Let me know when you get everything together. Let me know the logistics and all that stuff, and we'll get started. I'll help you out. Well, here's our schedule. Here's this and this. Boom. I haven't heard from that person. The person came up with an idea that does not line up, make any sense, or doesn't understand what the community will do, or it happened and then it'd be like 10 people to show up, 2 people show up next tournament, and be like, damn, man, nobody came out to play this game no more, bro. I don't know why I didn't do this, man. Why didn't nobody come out to this tournament? I was sitting there like, well, people don't like the game anymore. The FGC is this, and this. We're volatile. Now, when people come to me and say, hey, man, I want to do a tournament, I want to see the games, I'm like, all right, let you know, the FGC is going to volatile. It's going to start something one day, it's going to quit another day, it's going to like this, it's going to do this, they're going to call you out on this, it's going to act raw, we're going to curse out, blah, 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 blah. This, are you ready to invest into this? Is this something you want to invest into? This is what you put your money and whatever to get involved with this and benefit from, and hopefully benefit from this. Because I can guarantee, and I can tell you all the stories of all vendors and people who have gotten involved with us, and it's crazy that Reboot is still here. Because I can tell you like so many people, so many business people, so many little esports things are trying to start their own thing and trying to get us involved, and then work out the way they want it. And he's like, well, I'm done with this damn shit. I'm out. And yes, and they didn't curse me out, but they were high as hell when things didn't work out or benefit from them. I can tell you that. So that's the other side of it, where the community has its own shit that has to get cleaned up, but at the same time, the people who want to get involved with it, especially for a professional business end, they have to look at knowing where they're going to get into, and they need to know if it's worth investing to. I'm just giving that warning that look, this is what you're going to look into invest into, because it's going to be a hell of a party, and if you ain't ready for it, you're going to get thrown out quickly.
Being a TO, that's customer service, man. Being a tournament organizer is customer service. You're dealing with all types of people, like new and old. Like if you never met this person, you don't know what their mannerisms are. You don't know how they're gonna act in public. They could be a fiend. They could have a dark history or something. We just don't know these people. And dealing with being a tournament organizer, you're in the public. You're doing the public service. So it's just a lot of mental factors that come into play when trying to gauge who's a good person and who's a not good person. Unless you know them personally or heard about them, you don't know. You just don't know what they're going to do. So it's always a fact of just being on your guard and being on the P's and Q's when just trying to dealing with unknown elements. But I think we dived into a lot of really, really strong. Everybody had their own little 2 cents about what this, that, and the third. So I definitely do appreciate that. But let's go ahead and run into these ads real quick, and then we'll open the floor up for a final. Anything else y'all want to talk about?
Yeah, give me a second, y'all. So I'm gonna change it over for the people in here.
Man, y'all caught me off before I was gonna go in on 5 too. It's crazy.
Don't worry, Painbot. We're gonna give you your extra. We're gonna give you an extra 8 hours after this.
Yeah. Of course. But yeah, definitely, man. So first off, for our event is coming up soon, we got a special announcement for y'all. So the first time in history of the Reboot history, I got people to talk to me about it, and this is where I'm giving that challenge to step up to it. I said, as much as I love it, and this is where I originally came from. Smash Brothers Ultimate is going to have its first feature at the Reboot on October 15th alongside the FGC, but Smash is going to start at 2, and then FGC will start later at 5 p.m. And of course, thanks to Swag Out Nerds and Cherry Blossom people to let it be part of the Middle Georgia Easy Kai tour. We're working on the graphic on the details about it, but basically, you get tournament points for events around this area of Middle Georgia for certain games, for a certain number of spots, and the March of next year will be the finals will be held. And there's a last chance qualifier for one extra spot, so to let you guys know. But that's the details. But Smash is going to be added. This is where the scene I came from originally before I got into the FGC. So I'm giving them another home to invest into. But this is basically, hopefully, y'all guys support, come out and support Smash people. So definitely welcome to the Reboot scene. And see what else is next. Of course, you got the one more round. You can go on from that, Mr. ShadowAce.
Yeah, one more round is essentially going to be one more round because this is it, man. Is we normally try to do this series at 404 Esports, 1 weekend out of the month, but we had a lot of low entrants and not too many people who I thought were going to support it didn't, but that's a story for another day. But we do, I mean, the date that we're looking on is the 15th. Unfortunately, that is the same day as the Reboot event on the 15th, but due to the fact that the venue is shutting its doors, I think we'll just go ahead and go through with that event on the 15th. There, we're doing Ultra Street Fighter 4, Street Fighter 5, and then we're just gonna do a mystery game 2 as well. So I think it'll be a nice send off of the venue. We'll see what the final date is in November because November was the rumored date to for the business to close it in general. But for right now, this is what we got planned for October 15th for the One More Round series. And of course, big shout outs to Life of KB for collaborating with me and making this happen there. And thank you to Greg at 44 Esports for the series.
Definitely. All right. Well, here's Climax at Night. So
I know, Bates.
Yep.
Bates.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Bates. Where you at? Do your thing, man.
Yeah. That's good.
Wait, did he leave?
Bates, your mic is muted.
Yeah. I wonder if
can hear you the other.
can you hear
I can hear him in the other room.
Oh,
okay,
shit,
okay.
my bad. I'm
You're good, bro. You're good, bro.
Fire, man. Dang. Yeah. So climaxing out that tournament that I've been putting, and a lot of people putting a lot of work into. It's primarily a French bred tournament, but this time we're gonna do a couple different things. We're gonna have Gundam, we're gonna have KOF on Friday, and we're gonna have arcade, and we're gonna have a team tournament. It's gonna be a cool team tournament too. Do y'all know what SBO is for Third Strike?
Super Batter Opera.
Yeah. So they'll do like a 3v3 team, single elimination kind of deal. And we're gonna do that, but for Under Night. So that's gonna be cool. I personally don't play Under Night, but I know this is a big deal for the Under Night community. And I like team tournaments. I promote team tournaments. I think we should do more team tournaments, honestly. Because every time I've entered a team tournament and been a part of it, it's just really fun. So this event is gonna be on October 21st to October 23rd. We're gonna have arcade cabs, vendors, the whole shebang, bro. Just come on through, play games, and if you see me there, say what's up. I'm probably gonna be working, doing a bunch of electrical shit, but a lot of hard work going in this, and it's gonna be fun, man. We got 2 ballrooms, free is the parking's plenty of parking, so come out, have a good time, play games, bro.
All right, cool.
That's what's up.
Yeah, and then of course, like I said, shout out to 44 Esports. And like I said, fortunately, one of the last tournaments, big tournaments, definitely. This is gonna be a big one because Oktoberfest definitely all about Tekken, man. But not only about Tekken, about beer and food. Which on Friday I believe is free, so definitely you pay for the venue fee for that day or for the whole weekend. You come in that Friday, get some good food and some casuals. Well, potentially the best players in the world is coming down, and over 128 players have entered, so it's going to be a bloodbath. But of course, some of our homies, OS Hutch, Cut West, and a few others from the, I think Mr. Tibbs from the Middle Georgia people are going there, and you might see another familiar face because someone owes Greg a visit. That person never been there, so 4-4, unfortunately, after all these years. But we'll see. So you definitely come through.
Yeah, if y'all don't know, best fighting games is drunk fighting games.
Man, it's gonna be that's gonna be a lot. I'm gonna try for.
Oh shit.
Yeah. But yeah.
Right.
And then we also do have Anime Week in Atlanta. I have tried to research it myself on my end, the details. I still haven't seen anything yet. I'm not sure if you found up anything on your end, ShadowAce.
Yeah, on the Wayne site, the tournament, the link doesn't even work to get to the tournament. It just says tournaments on the sign up page, but it doesn't work when you click on it. So I don't know, but Regardless, that's the same. The anime weekend is at the end of October this month. I believe it's starts at the 27th,
Right.
which is the same date as.
There we go. The Kumite in Tennessee, the finale, the last Kumite in Tennessee series of the series that's on the last weekend. Definitely, I heard so much about it, and I'm not sure. Most likely, I won't be able to make it, unfortunately. But I know some of the Georgia homies are going to make it out there, especially yours truly, ShadowAce, with his El Fuerte on deck, ready for that Ultra Street Fighter 4 trophy or medal, whatever he's going to receive. So I know you're ready for that.
I try to do my thing out there, man. I really want to, hopefully, take a medal home in something.
Yeah.
I see what I can do in the games out there.
You better put in work for Samsho.
Exactly. I knew
Oh, yeah,
I was.
definitely,
I knew.
Samsho,
I knew it was. I got the president and the vice president is in the chat. I mean, in this call right now. I can't tell you which title belongs to which person because I don't want them to fight. But for right now, I'll see what I can do with Sam Show to try to represent, man.
Fair, but definitely, man. Like I said, for all the other Georgia homies, though, definitely support. If you see always give them the support, give them your energy, spirit energy. Also, give each other energies as also give support to Tennessee FGC as a whole too for putting this together. They've been doing this for a good minute, and definitely want to make sure that this series go out with an awesome bang. But we want to beat them in Sam Show and Street Fighter 4 at least. We like this, yeah. We like to see that happen. However, we got one more with our hometown and home state rather. We got DreamHack Atlanta with 25K. All that money. Smash getting 10K, Melly getting 2.5K, KOF getting money, Get to Geary for 5K getting the money, DNF Duel some money, Tekken 7 and Street Fighter 5. Here's the best part about it. All you have to do, just look up DreamHack Atlanta. Go to their website. Just buy a ticket for that day that you want to be there. That's all you have to do. Cause you know the best part about it? Go to the Start GG link in there as well. And the games for each game cost you $1, $1 each. So you're basically paying at the minimum maybe like $45, technically $46 for one game, maybe a few more games, like $50 or so. But look at the money they can win. You can win potentially from a couple hundred to maybe 1,000 or two. That's it. It's all there. November 15th to the 17th, if I'm not mistaken. You should go out there. I believe that the Middle Georgia people are going to storm there. Because if y'all not going to show up, we'll take the money for y'all. Just let y'all know.
Hold on. Say that one more time. Say it one more time.
Y'all
Retro.
not going to show up. Hold on. I got you, sir. Let me repeat it. If you guys will not show up, then Middle Georgia will take your money.
I love it, yo. He said, if y'all not gonna show up, guess what? We'll take it then.
Yep. That's the equation. A plus B equals C.
Hey, I love it. I love it.
But yeah,
I love it.
But definitely come out to DreamHack Atlanta. Like I said, also gonna have some other cool features for the venue. We're gonna have some cool games or whatever. So who knows what else we might see there? JB Hope overseeing it and a few other big TOs, but from the South. But we might see some updates or announcements. Who knows? I don't know. But I'm guaranteed something like DreamHack Atlanta being big. Yeah. But yeah, I believe that is all the announcements for us.
All right. That's what's up, man. That's what's up. Definitely do appreciate that. So we're going to dive into the final thoughts of this broadcast. Damn, I should have made this another hour. I should have made it another hour. I thought 3 hours was generous. You know what I'm saying? I was like, well, 3 hours. And now look, we already at the 3 hour mark. I said, damn. I guess next time I'll make it 4. Just gonna keep.
Yeah, we didn't even really get to go in on Sam Show like that, but
you know what I'm saying. We didn't even get to the meat and potatoes, man.
Yeah, that's the only game that mattered, but it's all good.
We
I mean, well, that's
Painbot
your
didn't even
opinion,
get to
but
get his shit off on Street Fighter 5 either. He was still in the
Paintbot
middle.
did pop off. Paintbot did pop
Man,
off.
he wasn't done.
I know.
That,
Yeah, true. I'm not gonna
you said
lie.
that was just the appetizer? That's what you said? That wasn't even. Damn.
That was an appetizer. Yeah, I'm not even
Okay.
fucking with you.
That wasn't even the real shit. Oh man, you know what? Because we're on a time crunch, but you know what I'm saying, I do appreciate you guys so much for tuning in, man. But where can the good people find you at, man? Bates, if they want to, you know what I'm saying, try to get the good gospel of Samsho or Data FGC events or something.
Cool, man. I'm not on social media like that because it gets on my nerves.
Mhm.
So if you want to contact me, and best try to get me on Twitter, send me a personal message. I'm a community manager, so if you want to like collab or you want to get information or you want to be involved in some of the stuff we do, hit me up on Twitter. As far as Samsho, when Samurai Showdown gets rollback, I'm gonna be very active. And if anybody wants to play or wants to be involved in the scene or you need information, or if you just want to fight the good fight as a Genjo player, hit me up on Twitter as well or Discord. If you see me in Discord, we have a Samsho Discord, SNK East Coast, and Samurai Showdown. Data FGC also has a Twitter account, so message Data FGC if you want to, get involved with some of the stuff we do. Key thing here is don't be a stranger. I don't really, and also don't be mad if I don't get to your message right away. Anybody who knows me, I've known me for a long time. I'm very slow to get to messages on any kind of social media platform because what happens is when I go to work, I can't use my phone or I lose signal because I'm working on a nuclear power plant. So, so I'm not gonna be available. Yeah, I'm not gonna be available all day for at least like 10 hours. So just be patient with me if I don't get back to you. It's nothing personal. And that's it for me, man. I'll go to Painbot.
All right, Painbot, where can the good folks find you at when you are not on your soapbox?
Just subscribe to my YouTube channel. Don't follow me on Twitter.
Yeah, I mean, also too, like I said, if I may add, Paintbot also does his own series of podcasts as well. They're very entertaining, as much as informative too. So definitely check out his YouTube for sure. You do get a kick out of it, but you do learn a lot and understand where how things happen and why it happens. He's very intelligent in that, and for sure, he's intelligent always. So definitely shout out to Painbot. Follow his content as well, for sure. I enjoy his podcast every time it comes up, or his content in general.
What's the YouTube channel again for Painbot's podcast?
It's just Painbot TV.
Painbot TV.
Let me see if that comes
Painbot
up.
TV. It should come up then.
Is it underscore?
Let me see. Painbot TV.
You gotta put Painbot.
It doesn't. My videos come up, but like not my channel. Yeah, put underscore, and I think the channel will come up then.
Okay.
For some reason, the first that comes up when I type in Painbot TV is my fucking Sonic Adventure playthrough that has 1 view.
That's the episode. Oh,
the algorithm, yo. The algorithm.
It has 1 view. Why is that the top?
The algorithm.
By the way, I don't. You see those videos of Samsho where it's like two bots fighting each other and they got like 50,000 views. Two bots fighting each other. I don't know how that shit happens. I gotta make it bank.
All right, and then SirRetro, y'all. Where can the good people find you at?
Definitely, y'all guys can find me anywhere y'all guys can. Of course, y'all guys, I'm on here. SirRetro08 Twitch. Also on Twitter is SirRetro08. Facebook, Instagram, social media you can find me. You can even Google me now. I'm pretty sure I can Google you guys as well, and y'all results will come up. So definitely, you can find me anywhere as much as you can. Reach out to me for anything. Of course, if you need advices, just want to chat or follow me, whatever. Thank you guys for supporting. Thank you for the anonymous subscription for this. Definitely, I'm working on actually, I do have a reward for the top 10 subscribers, first 10 subscribers for this, for the Twitch channel.
Oh, so, for real? Hold on, let me go ahead and get up on that.
Yep. I do have a giveaway prize.
It better not be a fucking copy of Street Fighter 5.
No.
That shit ain't gonna work.
Actually, it's related to what I'm doing on the Retro Tuesday series, which I'm actually doing the 007 series for the 60th anniversary of the franchise, and I got a cool prize I can give away. But definitely, yeah, like, subscribe, follow, like they always say. But definitely, either way, thank you for the support. Thank you guys for everything y'all done. And dang, I wish I could talk more. The topic which I thought I was gonna bring up was BigBates playing his Databang. Cause that
I
man,
mean, you know what?
I'm
You
down
know
to
what?
come on a third time. Breaking records already.
Guess
Man.
what? Guess what? Yeah, we're doing a part 2. This is, I mean, fully.
Part two.
Yeah. This wasn't enough. I mean, come on, man. This wasn't enough. And then Painbot didn't even get to say his shit. He didn't
Right.
even say and I
All I'm
wanted
gonna
to hear
say
it.
is Dr. Barney, because I'll say your name correctly. Dr. Barney, you better be practicing that Sam show.
he said he plays on Jubei.
Yeah, I saw.
Okay.
Yeah, you better be practicing. And we can run it back whenever you want to run it back another first to 10. Go ahead, but you better be ready because I'm kind of nice. That's all I'm gonna say.
All right. There it is, man. All right. You can find me on social media at Mind of ShadowAce on Twitter. I post up when I'm commentating events, or I'll post up random clips and stuff here and there. But I definitely do want to thank you guys so much for taking your time out of your Sunday to join us. We'll definitely talk about it part 2 because again, we didn't even get to the real shit yet. So I mean, we got to some of it, but I think there's more. There's more to the plate.
Look, all I gotta say is that you can still crush counter light DP for some reason.
Why can you? Yeah, that's so goofy.
Oh
man.
my
Oh
god!
my.
Don't get us started, man.
Oh,
Save
and
it. We're gonna save
And
it
then
for
we're gonna
next
talk
time,
about
man.
priorities and neutral. Is that
Look,
cool?
oh
We rock
my
paper
God.
scissors and neutral for real. Like that's what
Oh
we doing
Lord,
out here.
jeez.
That's the best fighting game. But all right, cool. That's what's up.
All right, so we'll we'll save it up for next time. SirRetro, do we have a teaser that we can give the folks for a future episode?
Absolutely.
Before,
Absolutely.
like,
Let me go ahead and get this loading up right quick. But I'll definitely say this for sure. This is gonna be interesting because this upcoming episode,
Get ready for the next battle.
all I have to say is if it can.
Get ready.
There we go. All right. Let me go ahead and put it up on this end. Yeah, I had to make sure I get the video to pop up on my end. Okay, there we go. So y'all ready, right? So it's funny because it's not exactly Street Fighter per se, but it's gonna involve someone who does have his handles in it, but he also gonna have this. So, did I see it or did I hear it? Did y'all get it?
Yeah, I see it. I see it. Oh shit.
Yep.
What's that? OG Tekken 7?
Yep.
Tekken 7. What is this? Hold on.
Yeah.
Tekken 7?
Yeah.
That's the OG trailer. That's crazy.
That's crazy. You said OG, right?
Yep.
Damn, I think that means we might have some OGs on here then, if that's the case. Sheesh. Look at that, y'all. It's telling us to get ready for the next battle, man. So that's the only clue that we're gonna give away. We're not gonna tell you who's gonna be on here because that was spoiled a surprise, but we got some legends coming through, man. It's definitely gonna be an amazing time because they're gonna give us their insights on how things work within their community and how things could possibly work or how they can prove here on our end. So they're gonna drop a lot of knowledge. I mean, these guys have been playing before me, and I'm old.
Oh
So
wait. Hold on. So we're the legends. Actually, they're the ancients. They're the ancient elders.
the ancient
Yeah,
artifacts.
because, you know
Yeah,
what?
they're the
ancient
elders.
artifacts.
They're the elders.
Yeah, I keep
Yeah,
that's the
elders,
thing.
yo.
I keep forgetting that because like it feels weird because when you mention because I know like that Georgia FGC has a history, but then
Oh, we got a lot of history.
yeah, that's the thing. I'm learning now is like it's much deeper than I think, especially with the Augusta crew. But now I'm hearing a story that is more deeper than I thought. So yeah, I look
Yeah.
forward to it.
It's crazy because when you think about it, it's like, yo, these guys have been playing way longer before I even entered the FGC. I was like, yo, what? Damn. And I thought I was old, bro. And I
Mm-hmm.
mean, golly, okay. Well, there you guys have it. That's a teaser for and that's actually gonna be for the season finale of the podcast. So just a quick rundown of that. So after the season finale, we'll look into trying to talk to other state scenes, but we just want to
Mm-hmm.
make sure we get as many Georgia faces on here as possible before we do that. But for the season finale, that's what it's looking like. Again, we're not going to say who it is, but for right now, want to
Mm.
thank everybody so much for tuning in and supporting the series. We do appreciate that. I mean, 12 episodes in is insane. That's like 20 hours of content just for just talking and getting people's opinions on things. And we're just going to keep growing from there. So I'm out the door. Good stuff. Appreciate Painbot. Appreciate you, Bates. You guys want the run back. I know that. And we're going to schedule the run back. Yo.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, and
That's it.
that. Yep. All right, guys. Well, I'm gonna send you guys over to I believe Big Boss DP. So, of course, it's October. Today is Horror Month. So, I'm gonna give you guys let you rate over him. Playing some Resident Evil One, the remake, the really good remake. So, y'all gotta support his scene, his content, and thank you guys for tuning in. And have a good night.
All right. Peace.
Peace.